It is the playoffs, finally. After a long and arduous journey for a lot of these players, we are down to the top 8. And of course, it's going to be the quarterfinals to start us off with. B up against Anotand here. And we get to see the live draft unfolding before us as well.
Spicy, yeah. We're getting to see the live draft. Live draft here starting off. You know, not as live as we had at Homestead Cup. Wink, wink. But we do have a lot of fun stuff here, so I do want to bring up a little bit statistics when we are later into the draft here. But yeah, it's going to be pretty fun. We do see some very standard bans, but also the possibility for B to pick up Ottomans straight away.
Yeah, exactly. Anotand opts to ban out Jushi and Marlins. Okay. That's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's because he banned Ottomans from Anotand, right? You don't want to pick up initially one of the subs you banned. It.
Again,
you lose draft tempo, right?
I guess, yeah. But other than that, I mean, very standard bans. I mean, 2 Four Lakes and Lakeside, right? So Fort Lakeside, I guess. KT being banned, natural. Kavasan as well, pretty natural to ban away the KT here. But China and Byzantine being the first picks here, that's very strange.
It is a little bit. I mean, Byzantines, I know both players do love the Byzantines, especially Anotand, big Hippodrome enjoyer as well. It's not, I mean, I guess it's pretty flexible nowadays, especially because you have an easier time playing Hippodrome than before. You're not as vulnerable in the Dark Age. China, on the other hand, I mean, of course, it's always really, really solid. Not kind of just as flexible. You can play it on water maps. Ideally, you don't want to, but it is a possibility. Afterwards,
I mean, China at the start, right? They was like, okay, yeah, we're picking that on water. Like, China, Holy Island, like, peak gameplay right there. But now we kind of have a little bit of a different story, right? With KT, could have been a thing. The French change, French and JD on Four Lakes, personal favorites. You know that some people might disagree a little bit with that, but Macedonia and Lancaster being picked up, as well as Iobid and Rus.
Yeah, B prioritizing Lancaster pretty high yet again. She's done so for a little while. And for good reason. He seems to work magic with them. And other players have as well. Iobids and Rus for Anotand, like you mentioned. Rus is kind of in the same boat as Lancaster, I think. There's a bit of a resurgence here, usually centered around 2TC. Even without King of the Hill in the map pool, we see Anotand taking
that's true. That's a fair point. Yeah.
Right, that's something you didn't see before this tournament whatsoever, but it's all as a result of the patch, of course, with the TC cost decrease mainly.
Yeah, and one of the things we have seen a little bit, at least on ladder, is Macedonia fast imp on Hill and Dale, and also 2TC Lancaster being played on Hill and Dale a little bit. We discussed that between us a little bit for Ash's tournament. That's also happening at the same time. It's free scheduling and pretty exciting. But other than that, right, it's a little bit of a strange draft as well, like seeing Tughlaq and Sengoku that high. I feel like Sengoku has fallen quite a bit in pick priority just because of all the nerfs, right? Their power got pulled back a lot after the recent nerfs, and instead, I mean, are they still very playable? Like, what do you think?
Well, drafting is always interesting because you have to consider to what extent are some of these picks just picks outright no matter what the opponent picks, right? So something like Byzantine's first pick, obviously without seeing anything from Anotand because he's guessed, so China was picked afterwards. And what picks are counter picks, right? And I think, we've seen Sengoku has a 100% win rate up against Iobids in this tournament so far in over 10 games, I think, which is pretty damning evidence, right?
So the statistics on that is actually they're 8-0. Sengoku versus Iobids. So yeah, it's pretty okay.
So, and at the same time, right, they've had good success against China as well. A bit reminiscent of Japanese in the past, where they don't get too much about the day. And I mean, Sengoku has a better shot than Japanese in sort of pressuring that day anyway, with a stronger feudal army than Japanese. So I think it can be a pretty decent pick in that matchup as well. Probably even against Rus, honestly. I think Rus, that is one where they might struggle, right? A little bit
Yari versus Horse Archers, it kind of does a lot. Yeah, you... Then again, like Kremlin Gremlins against Yatais. I mean, I'm just like thinking hypothetically, of course. It's like, technically it could be good because they can't fight back, but they're also 1 HP by the time they get to the Yatai, and it's a lot of wasted resources maybe. But yeah, the draft has honestly shaped up pretty nicely. No Japan, no English. That should be about it. And whoa, that's interesting.
That's a spicy one right there.
Okay.
So for those who, do you know the quirk of this matchup?
Javelins and longbows, maybe?
No, I guess way worse, my friend.
No.
It's so I don't know who first actually came up with this strategy, but yeah, I don't know. I can't give credit because I don't know who it was exactly, so I'm not gonna try. But so this matchup is a bit infamous for being virtually like almost like a death sentence for Byzantines when they play Winery, because the proxy barracks with the tower rush and the palace guards. It's actually, and especially on,
of course,
So
because this has like no way to deal with heavy units in feudal.
Not at all, right?
And that's even worse now because of the longbow nerf.
Exactly. The idea, right, is you have the fast build speed. Of course, you have the quick pace of the palace guards, so you can get that tower up. I mean, you can have like 4 or 5 palace guards and a tower halfway built at the berries of the Byzantines. By the time their barracks finishes building for the Byzantines, right? Like it's the timing difference is very obscene, and you can keep extending those towers around the wood lines, around the gold potentially, but mainly the berries and the wood is what you really care about. Because if you manage to deny the berries, that's already massive and it's horrible for Byzantines. But if you then manage to also tower the wood line, I genuinely think it's over. Byzantines. There's absolutely nothing they can do anymore, because then you get cancelled out of archers as well. So the idea is you deny the longbows with the berries, then you deny the possibility of archers, and there's absolutely nothing Byzantines can do.
Just man at arms, just
exactly. You dive, find some damage, then you age up, but it dies to Hippodrome.
I was gonna say Hippodrome, right? Hippodrome here, shirts, all kinds of stuff. But speaking of dying, okay, that was a terrible transition, I'm so sorry. The head-to-head statistics is in Anotand's favor.
It is, right? Recently, especially, it's one of those cases where B is the veteran. He's been in Age of Empires 4, as well as StarCraft 2, Zero Space, Age of Mythology. This guy is relentless with his presence in RTS games, and it shows. I mean, he's incredibly skilled. And he was essentially the tutor to Anotand many years ago. There was a year, I remember Anotand speaking about this, where him and B just grinded ridiculous amount. And that is the year where Anotand has soared in his progression and became a firm sort of top 16 player. And it only continually improved since then up to now, where, I mean, he's easily in the talks for, top 8, top 4 in most tournaments, even top 2 sometimes. And, it must feel a bit strange for B. It's one of those cases where did the student sort of surpass the master? We don't know.
I mean, the thing that is strange to me as well is actually due to their standings. Like if you have a look at the playoffs bracket here, B and Anotand, they're meeting in round of 8. And on the other side of the bracket is Vortex Beastie being in round of 8. And you kind of go, what? I mean, it's the old Drongo joke of, my top 10 has like 20 people in it.
Yeah,
it still stands true. Honestly, if you just keep Marine Lord where he is right now on the bracket, and then you just click the shuffle button like you're doing a shuffle playlist on Spotify, the rest of them could be completely feasible. To 100%. Me, at least.
No, I agree completely.
It is so strange, right? As you said, B and Anotand. Looking at Anotand, like he was babysitting a lot during Homestead Cup, so there for sure is a lot of a camaraderie, pun intended, between these two players. They're good friends. They talk a lot. They practice together a lot. The question then is, as well, this matchup, and also going into this, it's water heavy. We have seen some funky stuff going on Lakeside and Four Lakes, and we also have seen a couple of philosophies, I want to say, on Hill and Dale. I'm very excited for what B is going to be pulling out, because we have seen a couple of meta shifts throughout the years on Hill and Dale, especially in terms of like booming. Like first it was China going 5 TC. I remember that Viper game. And then into the trade, and now we kind of went into this all in, and now we're kind of back into the 2 TC. I'm kind of excited to see what B is going to be pulling out there as well.
Yeah, it's a dynamic map, surprisingly so, because of its design. It's hard to gauge because it seems like by design it seems like a very defensive map, right? You have the hills with safe resources, but at the same time the design in a way forces some kind of aggression and leverage, because you have the one single 4K gold in your base, and then you have no choice but to expand out into the wide open Dale, as you would say, to get further gold. And that leads to very weird dynamics where, just like you mentioned, you have some camps going for the 2TC and doing sort of a infantry push out slowly. English is a great example of this, Lancaster, right? To securing that second gold. And normally if the 2TC player secures that second gold, it's over for the other player if they're 1TC. But then the 1TC player has such a easy sort of containment protocol, you could say, towards the 2TC player. It's just they're on the hill, and you want to keep them on that hill and keep careful watch over the golds on the map. And how those styles fare just depends on the civs, right? And the players.
Yeah. But we'll have to see. You have put in your predictions for how this matchup is going to be played. Let's figure it out.
Quarterfinals here. BS Anotand in the color yellow, playing as the Jushi's Legacy up against 3DB. The color green here. The Elite Classic 4 quarterfinals underway. This very moment, the playoffs have finally begun. And as we mentioned before the game, a very exciting matchup to start off with a ridiculous amount of possibilities, really. I hope we see the Palace God shenanigans. That's something Anotand has to be aware of. We spoke about this in VS before, and there's a certain young player who is notorious for doing this. But B, on the other hand, this might be something he wants to expect, but already there's a few warning signs going on here, Cal. I don't think this is going to be a Hippodrome play.
I don't think so either. So we're starting off strong already by not going for the berries immediately, which is kind of the indication that, hey, okay, we're going Hippodrome. Could be a fake out, could be a double fake out. Who knows? It's hard to say. But speak to me a little bit about the Byzantine opening and how it has changed with this season effectively, because Byzantine, they used to be 125 stone, or 120, I believe, for the cistern. But now it has been changed down to all the way down to 100. So in the past, if I remember correctly, you saw a lot of 3 on stone openings, but now this has been kind of changed down to 2. Is that am I correct?
Yeah, you are. I think there's still some cases where you can go 3 on stone. Very rarely, if you're absolutely certain your opponent will do something like 2TC, right? Abbas is a great example, or English potentially. Also, very slow startup civs. You can kind of get away with 3 on stone there. So something like Golden Horde takes a very long time to age up. Potentially Iobits, these kind of civs. But the issue nowadays with the 3 stone start, the reason it's not being done as much anymore, even though technically you can get away with it better because of the cheap assistance, ends up in a case where your villager actually that's tasked with building the cisterns, after a certain point, he can't actually build the cisterns and aqueducts fast enough to spend the stone on time. So you end up floating a bit of stone, right? Which, I mean, we won't see this game because Bees only went down from 2-1 now.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
if you keep the 3 on stone, you'll end up like you're halfway building your. I don't know the timing exactly, but I think it's around the 2nd to 3rd system or the 3rd to 4th. You end up, when the distance increases as to how far you need to build it, you end up in a case where you're building the aqueduct for the 3rd or 4th connection, and you're already able to build the next system. So, there's a bit of opportunity cost wasted there.
Right. I'm nodding, you just can't see it. But we do have the Grand Winery, actually, surprisingly. No proxy barracks just yet. It is a fair reminder, though, sushi has been changed quite significantly. I guess since you kind of saw this play out last time, if that makes sense. Right, we have the Jingnan Tower now being kind of the main meta. To be fair, they do actually get palace guards out of the Jingnan now. So it could potentially still be a different kind of play, just the timing is a little bit delayed, but the issue with delaying that timing, however, is maybe the first mercs is able to come out of Byzantines, and at that point, they're kind of already going.
Exactly. For the Palace Guard cheese especially, it's incredibly strict on the timing. You have to prevent the berry gathering. I mean, with the cheaper longbows nowadays, you can probably allow like
Stable
the
first.
lateness of one batch coming out, but okay, so it's not going to be the case. I'm very surprised, honestly, by this play.
I was holding my breath there for a second for Pro Scouts, just like looking at the gold for a little bit here.
I mean, I feel like it still sort of has to be, right? Maybe he's doing a bit of a slow one with the horseman first, sort of China-esque, right? You begin with the horseman, put on just a
that's
little
the thing,
bit of pressure.
right? With the tax changes, you are slower on actually getting Pro Scouts as well, right? Because you can't tax abuse as much.
Exactly. So a barracks being rushed, actually.
Yeah.
3
2 scouts
villages
in
here
queue.
by B. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it makes sense, right? I mean, like, what are you gonna do otherwise with Yushi?
Yep.
I mean, there's no sort of Zuganu aggression timing here as there is against other civs. The issue being, of course, longbows is the answer to Zuganus in terms of range units. No better unit against them that is ranged. And yeah, so you kind of won the day, and naturally Byzantines with a very slow startup means that you will be able to get the day without too many issues here as Yushi.
Should be able to hold the berries for a little bit of time now with a couple of Limitane, right? Just sit on it, just camp. But the second the Shugnu is actually able to make it across the map, I feel like you need to drop a tower to actually just protect it at that point, and you kind of want that tower regardless. It's not the best tower, but I feel like you're kind of forced into it now.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a Zuganu beginning instead of the stable, and they are rallied across the map immediately, at 100%, you will need that tower. But in this case, I think B can probably get away with it, right? I mean, it's Horseman first into Pro Scouts, and only now is the first Zuganu out on the field, so there's no real danger here, right? By the time the Zuganu crosses the map, the longbow's already almost finished, and there's no real timing any longer.
It was a really good timing here from Anotand, though, being able to kind of perfectly get that, get the horseman across the field and then start doing the Pro Scout. So very nicely done, and he is actually kind of forced into moving out of his base here. I don't think he can do a whole lot. I feel like he hasn't scouted the archer range just yet. And once he sees that Shugnus are across the field, he is going to see this, and he needs to just run away now. Don't want to lose a scout, though.
Ooh, almost. If the horseman was a bit quicker on the turnaround, I mean, he might actually still be able to catch it unless he weaves the scout up around the tree line towards the Limitane. But yeah, B might have expected a bit of a sort of fake out here with a couple horsemen into Pro Scouts and then castle straight away from Anotand, which we have seen Jushi do in this matchup before into a Palace Guard timing. So B wants to move out to confirm that, and he does confirm that that is not the case. There are in fact Shuganu.
Yeah. Okay. Trivia time. Just because I can at this point, it's always funny to me. Why does Sushi have 2 scout icons?
Oh my god. Why does Sushi have 2 scout icons? Let me try to figure this out. Is this... No, I have no idea. Tell me.
So, while the walls are going up, Sushi spawns with the China Scout, but they produce Sushi Scouts.
So... Anyway, why? Why is this even a thing?
I don't know.
That's incredible, actually. See, that's the great thing about having your own cast as well. Just the absolute breadth of weirdly specific knowledge is astounding. I love it, actually.
Anyways, the 5th Cistern here should be going up soon. So far, actually, the wood line hasn't been upgraded or hasn't been under influence at all, actually, which is kind of bad. This gold should be for a bit, and as Vodka is pointing out, the first bear pack has run out now, but the timing here from B is actually really good. He has managed to get up those walls, which actually is a crazy wall when you think about it. Look at those 2 very short walls. Double deer pack.
I mean, we haven't mentioned this at the beginning. It's other guys spotted, but we didn't talk about it. This board is absolutely insane.
Yeah, it actually is.
It's absolutely ridiculous. The back berries, back gold, and then, as you mentioned, the double deer packs here with additional berries, and the natural wall of the front wood lines against a Civ that can pressure wood lines, but not in this matchup.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just a jackpot here for B, right?
I'm going to go with the Cry Me a River approach. B doesn't have a back gold.
Oh, yeah, well. And his, one of his berries is forward. Oh,
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Rough one, eh?
Rough one. Anyways, Palace Guards has come in now. I do wonder if those shouldn't have been produced, I think. Those should have been gotten free from the Jingnan Tower. And we do have the 3rd pack of longbows coming in as well now for B, so we should actually be able to hold this quite well. The issue for me is kind of if we're going to have a fight very shortly. I'm a little bit scared of the Shuganu numbers not being just there yet to properly one-shot, but we do have the Mount Lu Academy already going up at 10 minutes with a military lead.
Average Jushi gameplay, right? With the new Jungnan. You know, the military they can output while staying economical is pretty scary indeed. One of the reasons they've become one of the best civs in the game currently.
Yeah, I'm exhaling a little bit here because this horseman play from B, I feel like the horsemen here that aren't accomplishing a whole lot.
I think it might actually cost him this game. No.
I am very critical to say, like, okay, this is a mistake, but this should be a mistake. This food would have honestly just been better served as tank and going to castle. I feel like one of the win conditions here for Byzantine is actually being able to go up into the castle age, get that cataphract mass and upgraded longbows.
100%. The issue here, right, is I guess just lack of information for B. Just the difficulty in being able to scout because of Anotand's map presence is just tough to have.
And losing his scout, right?
To get in that position. Exactly, right? He lost the scout, which, I mean, he might have remade the stable just for the scout, potentially, which is, I mean, a good thing to do.
Yeah, but he never made another scout.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That is actually pretty crazy. But yeah, like, as you mentioned, here's the issue. It's just such a delay because of the horsemen. They're so expensive on food, and he might have thought he's getting all in which case, yeah, the horsemen would be the right choice, but and he is getting all in, but he's getting all in Castle Age, not in Feudal Age, so it's a tough one.
Yeah, you can see here the Palace Guards, right? You can see how well they're doing. It could have almost been doing this in Feudal as well.
Yep.
But now you kind of run into this issue of, okay, it's a little bit of a hard thing, like it's a little bit of a hard base to dive, right? Cisterns there, you can change a couple of them perhaps to the, oh gosh, what are they called? Whatever the one that makes buildings harder to take down.
Presidium.
Thank you. Very cool. Yeah, I can see that as well. And it is infecting, applying to the tower, and it's doing quite well here. And diving under these TC, it's not the best, but he does have 2 ranged armor here, and the Palace Guards on the front line here are doing wonders, targeting down the Suganu on the backside here, though. Limitane, they are with the shield wall. They're doing pretty well. Oh, misclick.
Horrible misclick. Yeah, that's a terrible misclick there by B. Just going forward with the longbows. Might have clicked on the ground instead, so plenty of longbows falling for absolutely no reason at all. Although the defense is looking pretty steady nonetheless. Of course, the Palace Guards have less ranged armor, so they're going to take plenty of damage from this tower, TC, as well as especially the longbows. Anotand, I think, maybe pressed on the gas a little too early there.
Yeah. I'm a little bit iffy on that one. I feel like if he had the upgrade for the Shugunu upgrade,
Yeah.
whatever it's called, I feel like that would have been helping a little bit. Yeah. Like if he had that, the Shugunu at the backside would have been able to take down. And we talk about this not so much in AoE, but we talk a lot about this in League of Legends. It's auto attack spacing, right? And that's something you actually are able to do with longbows versus Shugunu.
Yeah.
Right, if you are able to force yourself into this micro battle with the Palace Guards and the Limitane at the front, and you kind of just ignore it, and you turn into this kind of back and forth with the longbows versus the Shugunu, it should be able to go pretty well, actually, for B. And Anotand, yeah, he was diving under a tower and a TC, but again, 2 range armor. And now we actually have crossbows coming in here. Very odd choice. But is it a prediction, or I shouldn't even say prediction, a kind of a read into the upcoming cataphracts?
I mean, it has to be right, but then I also see a grenadier, so I know there is a batch that has a grenadier, but I think it gives more than just one crossbow as well, so I'm not exactly sure. Maybe we can check the Jungnan to be certain. It might be just a free crossbow, just like it is a free grenadier. It will be the third one, which is 4 crossbow and 1 grenadier. So yeah, these must have been manually produced.
Yeah, but now he's queuing it again.
Yeah, it is definitely an expectation of cataphracts on the way, which just makes perfect sense here for the Byzantines. Cataphracts, I mean, they're going to mow down Palace Guards without many issues at all. So you will need crossbows here. But
whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
And we did meme about it a little bit, but it's actually coming back a little bit to bite us behind here. The gold axis here means that B is not able to get a substantial amount of cataphract. He has 2 in queue so far. That's just not going to be enough against these Palace Guards. He needs to make literally anything else, and he's mining stone, and I'm assuming selling it for gold. Like, that's his only access. Yeah, he is.
We spoke about the limitations of such a good spawn, and it is, in fact, that gold there on the flank, and that's the only gold accessible to be at the moment, and Anotand is fully aware of this. He understands that controlling this gold is really all he needs to do in this game, because without the cataphracts, B cannot possibly answer this armored mass. You can't make crossbows without gold, you can't make cataphracts without gold, and longbows, sure, they have high base damage, they do decent against Palace Guards, but there is a limit as to exactly what they can achieve, and we are seeing that limit being heavily tested at this very moment.
Yeah, Limitane is actually doing surprisingly well as just being a meat shield and just blocking as a wall, and villagers even pulling out their shivs now. I shouldn't even say shivs, actually spears. I mean, should have been popped. The accuratory defense here, and should actually be able to hold this quite well, all things considered, actually.
Impressive hold by B indeed. Against so many Palace Guards, you can see how much that lack of ranged armor actually hurts in these situations. Considering B also has his additional range damage now, so his longbows do as much damage as they possibly can against these Palace Guards in the Castle Age, the current state.
And now, I mean, I think B has gotten over the biggest hurdle, honestly. At this point, it should honestly be going up for B. It should be... Now it's... The comeback climb is... it's real.
It is real. We've got to keep in mind, right? Anotand has been collecting relics behind this. The third one is now on the way back. There are still 2 left on the field. Slightly surprised he hasn't taken B's relic when he did have the chance. Of course, being able to be so aggressive, he had the space to take it. But at the same time, right, one thing with the Byzantines change, with the longbows and the stone, and also the Golden Horn Tower, actually, is their power curve has been flattened a little bit, right? So previously, Byzantines was extremely weak early on, in the start of the Feudal Age especially, but then they snowballed out of control, really, in the Castle Age, courtesy of the Golden Horde Tower mainly. Now it's a little bit offset, so they're not as vulnerable early on, but...
I love this tower.
Yeah.
Like, look at the left side of the left gold as well. There's a dot there.
Oh, this guy, man.
There's another dot. And it's an upgraded tower.
This reminds me of how you deal with English 2TC, right? Like that's sort of why, exactly. Like that is why for the longest time English has struggled at the top level, because yeah, you can't kill them in Feudal Age, and with the White Tower you can't really kill them in Castle Age outright, but you just stop their second gold, and they cannot play the game. And it seems like Anotand's going to adapt that again, the Byzantines here, and it's a very similar situation. It's gonna work, I think.
Mangonel and placement though, doing wonders right now. Needs to be careful here. Tower needs to get that upgrade finished. I mean, the guy needs to pop out and repair it. I don't think he has the correct setting on the cistern. I have no idea what you actually want to call that. I think he just has the wrong thing, but this fight still, though, a lot of damage being done here by that Mangonel Tower and longbows. Again, untouched with that auto attack spacing, just the attack range being a huge factor in these fights, not being able to get onto those longbows. If you can keep that longbow number alive and growing, then B is fine.
Exactly. Yeah, it really does come down to those longbows, because Yushi only has the Zuganu as an option in terms of anti-light units, no archers, so really the longbows are the answer to them, so keeping them alive is critical, especially because now, as I was saying before, the Golden Horn Tower just isn't as impressive as it was before. Byzantine is no longer, well, they're still incredible in the Castle Age, of course, but they don't snowball out of control as hard as before because of their slightly better early game than beforehand. The situation that arises because of this is, if you end up losing the longbows, it's so hard to replace them. But Anotand there, not wanting to allow the berries, of course, pushing through the Mangonel towers. Taking one down before the fortification comes through is very significant. But the gold is the bigger question here for B. The first one is soon to run out, I'm certain.
Where's this meditation guard being dropped even? It's just being dropped straight in the center. I mean, it's not gonna...
Wow.
It's not gonna do a whole lot, but food on the map has run out. I mean, he doesn't have any berries, right? And Pro Scouts... Oh, it is one berries on the right side. The main thing is his Pro Scout has run out, right? So he needs to get into this Song Dynasty. He needs to get up his granaries. He needs to do a farm transition. We might as well just drop the Meditation Garden in the front and get a little bit of a bigger golden. Now a ram push is being attempted here to try to take down this tower. And I'm assuming the story is kind of the same on the right side with the tower we initially first saw. It should be fully upgraded now as well, right?
Should be, right? There was active stone gathering. There's still a little bit in the bank. And that's going to pay big dividends here for Anotand, especially because his food has now run out, but he has those golds secured. B is just struggling to really get the mass together.
Right, villagers are moving out. They're in for a surprise.
It's going to get the bad news.
No! Ooh. It didn't kill a villager.
Close. Dropping the towers. What is that? That must be right. Oh yeah, there it is.
That's the, like this is so great. I mean, this is a really heads-up play from Anotand, being able to put down those towers, upgrading them. And usually you have a bit of time when these towers go up. You have, you know, depending on which upgrade you take first, it's either a weak tower that does some damage, or it's a strong tower that does no damage. So you always have a little bit of time. But when both of the upgrades have come through, it's really rough. And now we have two towers going up here. Both of them are being upgraded with the Mangonel upgrade. They have that one, but can they stay underneath this tower for a while, though? The upgrades are coming through, but the issue is the military count is just not there for B.
Yeah, and Anotand was also brute forcing, torching that tower to the extent where he actually did take a lot of free damage from these cataphracts. And the issue manifests here, with the Mangonel emplacements, the free damage, and not being able to get that tower up. That's actually as good of an exchange as B could have possibly hoped for, outside of the many village deaths, of course.
Now we're in a great position, because we spent all of these resources, we spent all of this time, and we can't gather from.
Yeah.
It's
exactly.
It's so rough. It's it's kind of crazy. I mean, he lost a lot of villagers in that fight, and none of these players are on 2 TC, right? So it's just 1 TC versus 1 TC, and Granary setup is being done in the back here, so Anotand, he will never have this issue. This the ram is trying, and I think actually B should be able to collect gold on the left side here.
He can with the bear. I think just the upper edge of that gold mine should be out of range. Of course, it's not ideal. Like, you can't actually gather enough gold safely. Oh, yeah. It's a rough one. Yeah. You can fit, like, maybe 6 villages there safely, and that's obviously not enough. Look at the fact reduction. Well, it's actually enough for 1 stable, I think, but yeah, you need way more than that.
Not with the amount of idle time you have. You don't have any. He doesn't have any eco upgrades except for wheelbarrow either, right? His gold has been limited the entire time, so he never has gotten room to get those upgrades either. And the thing that's actually kind of crazy about B's resource gathering, if you can change to 1 page on the bottom left, Vodka. Look at the amount of stone that he has gathered. And he doesn't have a key.
Massive.
Like, all of the stone that he has gathered has gone straight into the market as being sold or into tower upgrades.
Yep, exactly. As well as the systems, right? Which, yeah, I mean, initially you can kind of get away with selling the stone for gold, but the rate gets bad very quickly, the result of which you can see here. Another desperate push on this tower by B, but yeah, the writing's on the wall. All the longbows are going down, barely any left, and GG is called. Very proactive game here by Anotand, just completely subverting expectations, for me at least, not going for what we would expect with the infamous Palace God cheese that does so well against Byzantines. But to be fair, the spawn there was pretty good for B against it, right? The berries were at the back, the woodline is still exposed, but Anotand just playing a very clean game here, not willing to risk it on a cheese and just relying on his decision-making and spotting those golds. Just very smart gameplay, for sure, with the golds.
Yes, again, it just comes back to this gold. It's kind of crazy, and I don't want to harp on it too much, but that horseman, those 6 horsemen from B, it just that annoyed, right? It's I understand why he goes for it, right? You want to do something, you want to actually punish the pro scout a little bit. You know that there is some palace guards potentially coming up, right? And horseman does better, than Limitane against palace guards?
I'm not so sure. Considering the cost, right? I mean, yeah, they have better stats, but yeah, I'm not too certain, honestly, about that. Yeah. The issue is just the food cost, like you highlighted. Generally, when Byzantines goes for horsemen, they like to open with them, right? Instead of a barracks, which is ideal, and then you can get pressure straight away and get some map control. You can get away with going them secondarily after barracks and mercenary camp, and it's going to be fine if you are getting pushed in the feudal age. But that wasn't the case here, right? It's just the Jushi timing strength that they have with the cheaper age up, the faster build speed. It all works so well to lead to this early castle age timing, which is exactly when Biz is vulnerable if they haven't aged up themselves yet.
Yeah. You can see here as well, right? Double Mangonel Tower. Still pretty rough. I mean, I think if it was on the correct setting on the cistern there, it should be fine. They should be actually able to hold this. But the problem still remains the same as we had on the right side. Cool, you spent all these resources, you spent all this army. You still can't gather from it because there's a Springle Tower there.
Exactly. That's I mean, towers are so good, man. Towers are actually, like, for a long time, they've honestly been such a strong tool in Age of Empires 4. I feel like it's something that doesn't get talked about enough, but towers are just incredible. It used to be keeps back in the day, but now it's just towers that
I'm fine with just towers games. Because, reasons. Anyways, coming up though, 4 Lakes, my favorite map, or one of my favorites map.
You're gonna say that about every water map?
Yes. To be fair, actually, it's Holy Island, Scandinavia, not biased, and then 4 Lakes.
An interesting matchup too. I think we've seen this once before, I want to say. I'm not Oh no, we've definitely seen this matchup once in this tournament. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember who it was, but I mean, OTD is sort of a classic pick on Four Legs. It's been one of the sort of favorite picks here for a pretty long time. Lancaster used to be.
Not seen this matchup. I think you're confusing it with the HRE game that
Oh, it might be.
Beastie Lucifron had on Four Legs.
Oh, I think that might be it. Yeah. Which is, understandable.
Understandable.
OTD and HRE, it is what it is. Yeah, so Lancaster also used to be played here a lot back at their peak when, well, it was, the Demon Civ. And not much since, up until very recently.
The one thing that I'm kind of interested in is what landmark. I mean, just straight up, like, are we going for the Abbey of Kings or are we going for the House of Lancaster? The House of Lancaster now has been changed quite drastically, right? With 8 more garrison slots, or 8 more garrison slots, because it didn't used to have any. So it certainly is possible to drop the House of Lancaster. But usually on this map, I feel like that type of landmark is so rarely ever needed.
Exactly right. It's funny because I think a reason for it is like, I mean, you just have short bows as Lancaster, right? You're not. People won't be aggressive on you in the Dark Age, like ever, pretty much, unless Monk Horseman is the only situation I can think of where there's some reason to do it. But it's usually Lancaster that applies the pressure generally. And even if you go for the 2TC, in most cases, you'd just rather have the Lord initially as a little failsafe, right? You can maybe block a night charge or put a tiny bit of pressure on the opponent and force a response just with a free unit, kind of like English with the King, of course, just not as, of course, not as good as the King. But it just scales well as well. I mean, having that extra HP on your army is always going to be really, really nice, even in Castle Age where they fall off a little bit. It just makes your army better, which Lancaster's army has always been, well, it used to be really strong back in the days, but their army suffers a little bit recently, right? There's nothing really that crazy without the Lords. The Hobble's amazing against range units, but terrible against everything else. And really, the only army bonuses you have outside of Spearman, with the armor debuff, which is decent, is courtesy of the King's College, right? The unique upgrades you have there. And yeah, you can get extra damage on your Earl's Guard with keeps, but I mean, do you really care about Earl's Guard damage? Not really.
Not against OTD, right? The chance of you, the chance of OTD on any map, and more so even water, of going into crossbows is way too high, right? And by you then going Earl's Guard and, already setting yourself up to be countered is kind of just rough. Then again, exactly. I'm looking at this spawn here in general, right? I'm kind of going based off the vibe of the spawn, and you kind of just go, yeah, there's no point in going Lancaster Castle here. Like, maybe on the big gold vein all the way on the left.
No, it's it's just not. A part of it, I think, is the existence of the White Tower as well. If you want a defensive landmark, you have a way better one with the White Tower in Castle Age, right? And that is normally where you actually need it more than in Feudal Age, because there start to be knights on the field, so raid threat is way more severe than in the Feudal Age, unless you're against a Knight Civ, of course. But there's just very little value given by the Lancaster Castle as opposed to the Abbey, so it's very hard to justify. Both players content with full booming here, it looks like.
I do want to keep on going on the point of the levies of Lancaster Castle.
Have you done the math behind them?
No, but I'm assuming it's really bad.
I haven't either, but that is my assumption as well. It's just maybe with the way old Demi-Lances were with their previous stats, there might be something there. But I mean, I think they're by far the worst knight in the game, right?
For sure. They're okay when you get the King's College and you get their upgrades. But they're still bad.
Yeah, like I think even the Iron Pagoda performs better, if I'm not mistaken.
That's depressing. Not gonna lie. One thing we haven't talked that much about, though, which we probably should have. Both players actually have gone for double dock here in Dark Age, and not on the same pond, but on 2 different ponds here, so both players securing up their ponds. There is that one little villager from B who's walking all the way on the left side right now of the top pond. I'm assuming that guy is going for a sneaky proxy dock already, because he's not going for a second dock, no. Damn it.
No, yes, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, proxy docking on this map, right? I think it's generally better for civs that have tools that make it strong. So we're thinking of Japanese with shinobis, right? They can ensure that even with the fishing ships on the opponent's pond, they can have an advantage because they simply can't produce ships, right? We're talking stuff like Iobids with the timing advantage, or a Basset with military wing, stuff like this, which...
Wait, right side as well. I think Anotand's going for sneaky dock. Yeah. He's going for one, yeah.
That's so funny. Both of them with the same plan. Unless the one from B's plan was actually to drop a dock here on this side as well, which with the way he's heading kind of looks to be the case, unless he's going for an L path to avoid it.
But 4 docks in Dark Age?
It's ambitious. It is ambitious. But to be fair, I mean, you know, he's aging. Pretty good timing. And has a fishing ship advantage. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, one thing we haven't talked about, right? We did talk about the short bows. But we do need to also remember that House of Lancaster has cheaper fishing ships.
Exactly. The English bonus carries over. I think it's 10%, right?
Something along those lines, yes. Yeah, it's 10%, yeah. All I know is that fishing ships cost 6-7.
Oh no.
Yep.
And actually, the discount applies to all ships, right?
Yeah, it does.
So that's going to be pretty nice here for B, especially when it comes to dock warfare.
Even
the issue, of course, is Anotand probably has... I was about to say he has the Aachen, but based on the positioning, I don't think that's an Aachen.
It's a Minework good friend.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I don't know. I always prefer Aachen, to be honest.
There is situations as Order where, yeah, Minework, Aachen, like you can go both. You can kind of have like a discussion around it, but on maps like this where you have hybrid, it's just go Aachen, dude. Just go Aachen.
But I think one thing that sort of makes Aachen lose a tiny bit of value, especially after this Dark Age, is just the sheer investment into fishing ships, right?
Yeah.
Like you've saturated most of your fishing in the Dark Age without the Aachen boost. So then you get Aachen for your wood line when you probably need, you know, kind of less wood than you did in the Dark Age, and at the same time you will not be on food, so you don't, at least you won't be heavily on food on land, so you won't get the inspiration that way. So it makes a bit of sense in this case.
Are we just going to have this one ship? I mean, so far it's been just this one ship, and Anotand has done nothing else.
Yeah, and I quite like this. This reminds me a bit of what you would do with like Iobids or a Basset because of the cheaper docks. The amount of times Abbasid Iobid does nothing but just drop a dock and make nothing. And that's often enough to force a springboard ship, a galley, and maybe even a demo from the opponent. And suddenly you paid 75 wood to force your opponent to invest over 500 resources, which is, I mean, it's crazy value.
Yeah. But now, you have an interesting change up here. Horsemen coming in as well as Gilded Man at Arms. Horseman has been spotted, so barracks has been dropped, and Spearmen are in queue. But how does Lancaster reasonably deal with Man-at-Arms right now?
Just Yeoman, I think, honestly. The Yeoman with the move speed shouldn't have too big of an issue dealing with them. Combine that with Lords, of course, they're going to hold a pretty nice front line. You can, of course, peel them back and heal them. They are the same speed as the Men-at-Arms after all, so there's no HRE move speed here, making it even easier for the Lords and Yeoman.
That's very true, yeah.
The problem is the Gilded Horsemen, they need to be respected, so you're going to be forced to go into some spears, which ideally you don't want to do. Like, no Civ really wants to go Spiz.
He gets away with it.
Barely. Oh, he actually sees it though.
Yeah, but does it see it?
Yeah, exactly. It's on his screen. Doesn't mean he sees it.
So, both players now going up to castle. Anotand reasonably should be going for burger here. Yep, yes. Regnitz, you know, could be fun, but reasonably you actually want to actually do some proper damage here. B should be able to pretty easily get up the white tower. The question is kind of just where and how much delay will he be put on. He needs to secure the gold. That's kind of his main thing, as his main wood line here is running out. So where do you actually put the white tower at this point? I don't see a situation where he is able to actually go up with King's College at all.
Nah, I don't. I mean, you could make an argument that it could be quite nice in this matchup, especially the bonus damage against OTD could be great. But yeah, it's especially when you're doing it with a timing disadvantage, it's definitely risky. And I mean, the obvious spot for the white tower for me is just there towards the west. We have the gold as well as the secondary large wood line. I think that's exactly where he wants it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
or not, apparently.
I mean, he needs to put this here, because where else can he put it without being idled to death, effectively? Like, the man-at-arms, they're coming. He knows he's on a timer. He knows that, hey, this is coming, and now we have upgraded man-at-arms even. Horsemen just running rampant around, just the spears needs to follow it. And just look at the man-at-arms now. Imagine if this was outside of TC range. He would have no chance for this.
He definitely wouldn't. I mean, I feel like there was maybe potential for some walling around that wood line in gold to make it easier and prevent this, prevent being forced into this position. But of course, hindsight is 20/20. Easy when you have God vision. But white tower is up. It is going to secure the goal, but it's, you know, it's about the worst position that you can have for it, and you're forced into it naturally. You don't secure anything besides your half-finished gold mine and the day pack, which you don't really care about at this stage yet. Anotand, I mean, he's going to be pretty happy, I think, with the damage he found, the delay he caused. Now has significant map control too. Might even... No, not quite, killing the scout.
Yeah, and at this point, like, exactly just this point, I feel like there's going to be coming a moment maybe later where it's like, yeah, burger was the right choice. But with this white tower now going up and the burger kind of being stopped effectively by the white tower, you know, you could have been like, okay, I could have been getting relics behind this, I could have gotten that eco advantage, I maybe could have had more numbers in a bit, but this burger will probably end up being the right choice regardless, right? One of the more important things that often goes unnoted for the burger is that they're actually cheaper when they're produced. So technically, burger is a economic landmark if you think about it that way. What is it? 1 in 4 man-at-arms are free?
I don't know exactly. I think you might be right potentially. I haven't done the maths, but maybe. What I do know though is I think it comes down to a case of it's actually on the same level as a 3-relic Regnitz, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of cost saving. Compared to the amount of resources you get, which, I mean, it's hard to complain about, right? It definitely is. It's really, really good. And yeah, you could argue that you can maybe get 4 relics in most games, but it's just the military tempo that Burgrave allows you, considering you very often want to go infantry as OTD anyway. It's very hard to say no to.
Yeah. One of the things, right, is if B was a little bit greedier with his white tower placement, placed it on a wood line, placed it a little bit outside of TC range, the upgraded man-at-arms that he would have had, because he got it quicker because of the burger, should have been doing a great lot of damage in that scenario. So, you know, could have been. It was a tempo play by all means, and still continues to be a tempo play. But Anotand should be on 4 relics now, I believe. And that is... it's going to be an uphill battle once again from B. He almost did it last game. Could do it again.
Exactly. 4 relics is massive here for Anotand, combined with having the Burgraven. All the pressure is on B, for sure, to try to find some kind of damage and offset Anotand here, because I just don't realistically think that Lancaster can compete in Castle Age with that OTD army, especially as the prelates begin coming out. Inspiration is now on the way, and with 7 prelates already on the field, Anotand even trying to steal B's relic. I think he gets it. No, he doesn't. So close.
Wouldn't have mattered much. Question actually does... Oh, I feel like I should know this. Would the Earl's Guard keep its bonus damage?
With the what? Who keeps?
When it gets converted.
Ah, good question. I don't know. I would assume he loses damage.
Yeah, so do I, but... Yeah, it should lose its damage because of an aura effect. Anyways, one of the things that I'm a little bit scared about, though, is the amount of Earl's Guard that B is producing. His main portion of the army is Earl's Guard, and we did talk about it earlier with the crossbows of the Order of the Dragon.
It is very surprising, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
why are
I
we
do really
investing
like the
into this
Oblar
amount?
switch, though.
Yeah, Hobbler is great for sure. I think. I mean, you either deal with the crossbows with Hobbler or with Yeoman, right? Which both choices have their pros and cons, but the Osgard, like you just have to sort of question it a little bit. Which, I mean, it never feels great to question such a world-class player as B, but it just doesn't seem to make too much logical sense up against OTD, right? With their incredible crossbows that they love making. I mean, it's probably the best unit, honestly. With the extra range and the massive base damage there. The extra range is honestly so understated of a stat for them. I mean, they can kite archers, which is pretty insane.
Yeah. I mean, we saw it last game, right, with longbows against Shugnu, how much of an effect range can have on a lot of these fights. And we're kind of in this very weird lull state where it's a macro game that's on a razor-thin line to turn into a micro game.
Yeah.
Just consistently, we're kind of just waiting for it to happen and just break out into this fight. I guess B's idea here is, and I wish that's kind of maybe the idea as well, is Oblars to surround and try to deal with the crossbows, and then everything else to deal with the man-at-arms. We do have Yeoman being in queue as well and even upgraded, so that is... I don't think that's a good way of dealing with crossbows, with the Yeoman.
Not on this kind of a delay, at least, right? The issue being it's going to take so long to get the human mass together to deal with the amount of crossbows Anotand has. It's also the fact that, I mean, it's interesting with OTD because something like Sync Shot... It has to be, right? It has to be. It's got to place it on the big gold.
Yep.
And that spells pretty big problems for B, who's so far away from Imp himself and in no real position to go for it yet. And as we were saying, right, OTD is one of the interesting says because something like Sync Shot, I think, loses value because of just simply less amount of units here for OTD, but also Siege loses value against OTD. Something like Mangonel just doesn't have nearly as much space to connect against OTD. But something like Bombard does even better, right? Or Culverin, in Lancaster's case.
So, we have God Vision here. And this right here is technically a very good outcome for B, because now Anotand doesn't have any spears left to deal with the Oblars. I don't think it matters.
No.
No spears.
I don't think it does. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't really think it matters either. The issue is that, I mean, in a choke point, which is probably where the fight's going to happen, considering B is just pushing in at this very moment, it's going to be very hard for the Hobbler to find that wraparound.
Exactly, elite upgrade coming through. There's no way to cancel this. It should be coming out pretty strong. I'm kind of questioning, like, okay, how long does it take for these crossbows to target one man-at-arm, and for how long does it take to die? Has lost one relic, though, and one tower, which could be a big factor here. And look at this, the man-at-arms. Now we're having to deal with all of this. Wololo's could be coming in at any moment now, and it's just there to fall back, buying time for that elite upgrade to coming through.
All the while,
Could
the
be another
crossbows.
wall.
Yeah, all the while the crossbows as well, when B's army retreats, are constantly dealing damage, and you can see just the mess in this fight for B. It's so difficult to micro this massive composition effectively up against Anotand's army. He's doing a great job of taking down the crossbows, but the problem is he doesn't have enough of his own crossbows, and the reality is his men-at-arms are just gonna butcher everything he has here. You can see barely any of them are even dying. Golden Kuras with the Holy Inspiration. These guys are monsters.
Yeah, and the fight was looking good, and then you heard like shh, shh. It's like, oh, okay, never mind. These units are just dying. Yeah. Like Golden Karas here with the inspired warriors is just crazy, and these fights would have been a whole lot different a couple of patches ago when the AoE inspiration wasn't in the game yet. But now that it is, like these extended fights can be really good, because one of the issues inspired warriors used to have actually was prelates would prioritize healing units instead of inspiring non-damaged units or full HP units. So now that they're still healing units and inspiring units beside them, instead of just inspiring one that was, constantly being damaged, it's so much better now. Even though the stats have not changed. And just look at this. I mean, elite army tactics soon coming in as well. And now we're going to be having to fight underneath this. Yeomans are doing a really good job at targeting the backside here. But the man-at-arms on the front...
The man-at-arms is the bigger problem here. Yeah. Like, you just need an obscene amount of crossbows. Like, you need at least 50, I think, to even begin dealing with this wave.
You're struggling to take down prelates.
Exactly. I think we might have the additional health on the prelates as well by this point, if I'm not wrong.
Probably. I mean, it doesn't matter because they don't care. Yeah, it's just... Oh.
GG is called. B yet again facing a defeat here in game number 2. Anotand up 2-0 now, just showing the power of OTD in this game with the military inspiration there. The men-at-arms with the Golden Kuras, they just don't die, man, when you're an age ahead that way. With the infantry tactics is the nail in the coffin.
It is so rough. And, I don't want to be that guy, but, the relic spread for the second time in this series.
Tough one, right? Tough one.
It's slightly rough.
And B found himself being forced on the defensive in both of these games by, well, in the first one it was just the nature of the matchup, but here, I kind of want to say it's almost also the matchup again, because what's the real win condition here for Lancaster when you think about it? It's hard enough to push OTD on a land map, right? As Lancaster, just emergency repairs, amazing archers, even in the feudal age without scale armor. But on a water map, generally it's harder to push in feudal age anyway because of the safe food. But then, how about Castle Age? I think your army is just weaker as Lancaster, and it doesn't get better in Imp either. Arguably, your economy is also worse in a way because of the Aachen. Well, no Aachen in this case, but just baseline the villages for OTD. Maybe Lancaster economy is a bit better if you're good with your manners, but is it enough to offset such a military deficit, which is often a debate that comes up in a lot of matchups? In this case, I don't think so.
No. I'm trying to think, right? King's College with the advanced army tactics, which increases your bonus damage. Okay, cool.
Like you have to, right?
Okay, cool. How do you get to King's College?
Right. Yeah.
It's just not an option. And then I'm trying to think, okay, cool. Can you hobble our spam while just playing defensive? No.
No, you cannot.
Yeah, I think it's maybe one of those doomed matchups where you're relying on your opponent to make a mistake.
It really seems to be, right? Like, the more I think about it, the less I see avenues for Lancaster here. I just don't see the path to victory. Like, in every stage of the game, they just feel weaker than OTD. And this game was a good example of that, I think. It just feels very, very, very difficult. I think probably King's College just has to be the way that gives you the best odds, but even then it feels so difficult. I mean, yeah, I just don't see the avenue.
Hand cannoneers? No. Archers. OTD archers, right? We had the upgrade. It was basically finished when the game was over. It was like you upgrade the archers, and even then crossbows with the extra range are just better and outrange the hand cannons, I believe.
Yeah, which is a massive problem, right? Yeah, that's the issue, right? Even if you go for the hand cannoneers, yeah, it's gonna be great in terms of damage, but I mean, you just die to the crossbows and archers. They can kite your hand cannoneers, and it's just very, very painful. So what does B decide to do next, right? It's his map pick, and the decision is there. It's going to be Kawasan. We know he's a very comfortable water player, but Anotand himself, he said he's scared of no one on water maps.
Not even the Spanish bros.
Not even the Spanish bros, yeah.
So, yeah, we're kind of in the same situation. We had this the last time around, and okay, I'm gonna do my segment here now. I can actually properly do, but that was the wrong thing. Whoopsie doopsie.
That's pretty good.
There we go. That's better. Even more statistics. Hooray.
Talk us through this.
Yeah, I'll talk you through this. This is so much statistics, and it's kind of crazy. Just having a look at this, in my opinion, is a little bit wild. And okay, hello, fantastic, perfect. The Mongols here has the highest win rates of the tournament so far,
specifically on Kawasan,
but they have only been played on hybrid maps.
Yeah, and it makes sense, right? Mongols just is a hybrid civ nowadays. It feels like to me. It's a very niche counter to some land maps, to some land civs on land maps. So I think a good example is probably Byzantines, right? As well as probably Sengoku. I think they do really well against even
Mongol
Japanese.
Japan as well, yeah.
Right, yeah, that's a classic as well. But other than that, they just have amazing tools for these hybrid maps, so it doesn't surprise me at all. Of course, the economical spear production, courtesy of the Uvu in Dark Age, given emplacements from that passive stone, double production for fast military presence early in the feudal age. It's all sort of a perfect cocktail to make a really strong hybrid civ. I mean, in the past, they used to be the hybrid civ, virtually unbeatable, right? Before a lot of the newer DLCs came up. It looks like.
Yeah, it's really strange. Because back in the day, we did see a lot of Mongols on hybrid, and that was still in the trade meta, though. To be fair, and now we're kind of gone around into Mongol being on water again.
Yes, Kawasan is the map of choice here for B in game number 3, fighting himself 2-love down now, so the pressure is starting to mount pretty rapidly on him, and he relies on the Mongols here, spawning in the north side of Kawasan, up against Anotand, the color yellow, as Delhi Sultanate, which is, again, it might surprise some people to see Delhi being picked here, but it's just one of those sort of solid civilizations on Kawasan, right? It's like, you know, when you think of Tughlaq being really strong here, it's Delhi sort of a light version of Tughlaq, right? I mean, you know, being the parent civilization, you still have the fishing ships that can shoot, so honestly it surprises me to see B even trying to go for this dock, but the timing might actually be there, because I don't think the fishing ship can stop that villager in time, and the presence of the Khan means that it's not like Anotand can just pull his villager for free either to aid. So we're about to find out. I think that dock definitely goes up fine here for B. And there it goes. The ship is gonna get a couple of other shots, like get off my lawn, get off my pond in this case. B, though, is there gonna be an investment into space? Sometimes we see the barracks follow up after the dock. Very some cases it can be good. Against Delhi, probably not. Okay, well, that I didn't expect.
Wrong, sir. That was the wrong barracks from the wrong player.
Yeah, I mean, I see the vision here for Anotand, right? We're probably going to need space anyway. Keshiks do beat Ghazi Raiders. And what's the plan here for B, right? It's probably going to be edging up pretty quickly and getting an emplacement on this dock and then using that to leverage his naval fights and win out on this pond. So what's Anotand going to do? Well, he's going to prevent the arrow slits from coming in the first place by just burning it down.
Yeah, I mean, Scout is starting to torch already, and Barracks will do the same. And Anotand still hasn't collected any gold, even though could potentially do so, and probably should. As B has already collected all the gold he has. I mean, the TC position here is one of the better ones, I would say.
That's what you want to do, right? Have at least 2 of your main resources on it. Ideally, the wood line will be one of them.
Yeah, the only exception to that, I guess, is Frisian Marshes, where sometimes you have some wild TC placements of in the middle of nowhere next to stone and gold, and then your wood is kind of just...
Yeah, Frisian is very funky when it comes to that, for sure. Deer stones on the way now for B. Anotand up to 3 spares now, but you can see the slight struggle with delayed barracks. It's just, the space being out so late means you're really riding a very fine line here, and the timing is always very tight, because I think it's gonna be enough spares simply because the barracks is so close to the dock, so that's should be able to get it on fire before this Deerstones finishes. But B is speeding it up. I don't think he can get a ship out in time, though.
Nah, I highly doubt it. I mean, worst case scenario, if he sees if it's getting close, you kind of you have this feeling when you're playing games where it's the timing of something. The best case I have for this is Guardian Angel and Zhonya's in League of Legends, where you just know that, hey, it's about... I just know when it is coming, and I feel like to a certain extent you have that at certain cases with, demos or dock emplacement and stuff like that. So he had the villager, worst case scenario, to pull it out. But, that's a good catch. Fishing ship as well.
That is a nice catch.
That's...
Range.
I am slightly tempted to say Mangodai.
I wouldn't blame you either. I think, just like it was back in the day, right? Just a couple of Mangodai, a couple of Khan's Hunter is always going to be such a pain to deal with on the wood line, especially when you have such a big age-up advantage. B would rather not go for it, though. It's just going to be archers, which, I mean, will achieve the same result, I guess, safer long-term, but you'll just hit a little bit later.
Yeah.
Anotand sees it.
Yeah, sees the archer range, sees it's being double produced, so knows that, hey, some stone has been spent. So I will give him a little bit of safety on one of these ponds, perhaps. No more faith is the option. I mean, we didn't really talk about this, but Delhi Tower of Victory. Is that villager just idle?
Wait, is he? Yeah, he shows up as idle, right? You can see the top left.
Sir.
Is he step stuck? No, okay.
Yeah. Tower of Victory has been updated, right? It's no longer just... It's gotten 2 updates, to be fair, actually. It got the update with fixing it, so it actually is correct in terms of the attack speed it gives. And most recently, this patch, I believe, it got changed into a blacksmith as well, so you get those blacksmith attacks even faster.
See, it actually sounds really nice on paper, right? It's it gives you a lot of tempo, because normally that's the issue for Delhi.
It was not Doctor. Oh no, he's going to be... Oh no.
Wait, what did you say?
I was like, he's going to dock drop. I mean, it's going to be a little bit... He's genuinely...
Oh,
what?
That's
a proxy barracks?
That's absolutely crazy. B is just... Oh, he's doing the Spanish brother strategy, right? Where...
Oh, he's doing both.
Oh, yeah, he's just doing, like, full all-in here, basically. To deny wood, which, I mean, I think is an idea based off of the early game.
I mean, it's great.
The issue is, can he actually walk through that? Is
No,
there a gap
no.
there? No, okay.
No.
So it's so deceiving. Yeah, he's gonna be a bit pissed off about that one. I mean, the wall is there in position as well. But it shouldn't
Okay,
last too
look,
long.
if you're pissed about that one, I'm pretty sure Anotand's gonna be more pissed.
Why?
Just map spawns. But here's where it's like, okay, if you had a Khan Hunter, we could already start doing damage here, right? With just hopefully getting range, Falcons shooting over. Instead, we're kind of just doing a slow burn. This should be in vision for Anotand. Yeah, it is. It's the wall is even close enough. For a while, though, Anotand is still going to be having a little bit of an eco advantage due to the fact that he is going to be on water for a bit. He hasn't really invested a whole lot more into this pond. And
Which I think is
reasonably
the right
so.
decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've actually seen him die like that before on this very map. I think against Mongols as well, but I think he was eye with that game actually. Where, seems like you went out on water very easily and you're like, well, I mean, more fishing ships for me, but that's where you get very severely punished by this kind of a play that B is doing.
Catching up this Khan Hunter is very important actually for Anotand.
Yeah, that's huge pickup.
Will prevent. No, go into it. Oh no.
I guess he has bigger fish to fry.
Oh, that's a villager loss. Both villagers are dead actually. Wait, where did they try the path?
What happened? Wait, did they? No, I think it's one's a fishing ship for sure.
Okay, yeah, one's a
So
fishing
like
ship. Yeah, okay, so it's just that villager. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
would
it's
be
a little
wild.
bit better. Still bad, but. Yes.
Going back to the
So
Dome versus Tower talk briefly. I think Dome is just way better still, to be honest.
Yeah, I've played a couple of games. To be fair, mainly on Hill and Dale, where it's a little bit more memery. But this right now is really, really rough. I mean, the third tower going up. This is giving me flashbacks a bit to the good old times of Mongol tower rushes.
Oh yeah. Back to the
Where
classics.
it was it was towers rush, I guess.
Tower
Good
defense.
terrorized towers
TD.
there.
Yeah, the double wood
now
line here in the north is going to be a big problem. And it's only going to get worse, I think, here.
Yeah.
The issue
The-
is,
the
like, you
worst
just can't
part
get
as
the
well.
archers.
I mean, even the worst part is, on this map, right, you have two big close wood lanes, and you have one small that's secondary close. Both of them for both players are connected. And then the third big wood is just even further away, so look at how far away he has to move. He has to sell food to buy wood.
Yep. And judging by the macro, like, I don't know if he's struggling to, like, utilize the market fully, or if he's crazy enough to try and go for a castle age here, which...
He's not mining, he has never mined gold. He still has 2 monks.
Going back to
Like he has
gold.
to
He has to go
buy
here for
wood for lumber camp.
Yeah, that is crazy. I mean, we saw Anotand subject B to this type of a play in the first game, right? With the gold denial. B's giving him a taste of his own medicine here with the wood denial instead, and it's working wonders for him. Any of guards in the field, though, are going to be quite annoying for B on his reinforcement line. Of course, he can't ever really catch them unless they get trapped. Wood line on several tiles away from a stealth forest.
Can we see Anotand vision, please? I don't think he ever scouted the wood lines on the bottom. No, he never scouted them.
That's crazy. He must know of them, surely. It's amazing what pressure does, right?
Oh,
For those watching, you can see here firsthand how powerful of a tool aggression is in Age of Empires 4. It can force your opponent to making these kind of mistakes, to simply forgetting
then
the way the map
on
generates.
top of that, he is making ships now, so he's taking back water. And we're down to 5 villagers lost for Anotand now. Probably some fishing ships as well. Okay then, I do
Great.
not know what happened there, but shh.
I think a demo into fishing ship kills.
Let me believe that a fishing ship stood up, rose up, and said, "Not today. This is our pond." Damn it. This is a crazy denial, and now he's finally moving out to gold, and he has a vision here.
no.
The Khan Hunters with the Falcons.
More bleeding here for Anotand, who's just scrambling to get a defense together.
He's going castle here,
Yeah,
I think.
it's a great
No, he doesn't have
follow-up
enough.
too.
He doesn't have enough gold, right? Surely.
Not yet.
He's only got 4. I mean, look how greedy and comfortable B is as well. He's like, I don't need towers. Towers are for the enemy.
That's right. The towers are strictly an offensive tool in this game for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
And actually, doesn't even get a villager here, Anotand, with the Keshiks connecting. It's gonna force him away.
It's...
Yeah.
You know that pain when you're watching a video of some guys getting kicked in specific places, and you have like secondary pain. Mm-hmm. There's a little bit of that feeling in me as well right now.
You feel it in your
just-
groin?
How just Anotand being absolutely denied on everything. I mean, he's holding water strong. He's investing just enough to actually be able to do this. B is like damn set on this, making sure this pawn goes down. Like he needs to get rid of this pawn. He knows that there's one, like this is a lifeline for him.
After this kind of a commitment, especially, right? I mean, he could have potentially ignored it, but after investing so much with a double dock now, if he wants to get it down, and Anotand just can't defend this, right? There's just no way. With potentially
Right side,
emplacements
though.
coming in as well.
On those deer, I mean, a lot of fighting has been going on. A little bit for an all-army hotkey potentially by B, a rare one, but the villagers are fighting back. 11 worker kills now for B, 7 for Anotand. Still going a little bit strong here, honestly. Reinvest... Anotand, you don't have wood for this. You're still chopping
A stealth
stealth
forest.
forest. To be fair, stealth forests are actually basically... I finally know this is a better wood line. And this is not going to be a good lifeline, but it's a bit of a lifeline. Army numbers are still pretty even, and he needs to hold this. I mean, there's nothing out here at all. Nowhere to run, nowhere to garrison.
Yeah, and he has no choice but to
Villagers
defend this.
and military is being rallied here, baiting in straight into all of the deer villagers. No!
There's not a lot of space here for B, and there's a lot of Ghazis present, which is decent here for Anotand, but there's also Keshiks present, plenty of archers, and yeah, the villager idle time is absolutely astronomical here for Anotand.
Run back.
And B is happy
he's
with
just-
this. He just
Does
keeps
he have at
fighting.
least have textiles?
He must.
At least that
surely.
must be something Anotand has, right? Surely, yes he does. I mean, it's still a good fight. I mean, Anotand taking army lead here. More reinforcements coming in from B though, and more coming in from Anotand. Defender's advantage? Question mark?
And wheelbarrow on the villagers as well. They actually catch up to these archers
mean-
as they begin kiting. And
But the surround on the Keshik as well. I mean, not actually able to get a whole lot of villager damage here back. This entire time, he's only lost 2 villagers while running. But the food income.
what food income is the question? Right?
Honestly,
It's-
with the villagers here, just get the bears in the middle.
yeah, you might as well at this point. That's impressive, actually.
This
by
works
there.
out? What?
That's so genuinely crazy. I think it's because, I think the only reason this really worked is because of B's split decision between castle and investment. Even now, right, he reinvested a little bit to make sure he doesn't actually get pushed himself now. But, yeah. I mean, the thing is, right, like, pulling vills in that kind of a case, it's a similar case to when you sort of force a keep on a site or something like that, when there's a fight going on. You force your opponent into a pretty difficult decision, honestly, because if they focus the villages, they risk losing the fight. But if they focus the fight and ignore the villages, either the potential keep in question goes up, or in this case, the villages do their own damage, and with so many, they do decently.
I hate to say it. This is looking scary for B now. Anotand being able to secure up at least one pack here in the middle with a tower, actually able to properly get it, His fish is slowly but surely coming online, has a lot in queue. B has fish as well, but the indecisiveness of B, of what he wants to do now, it's kind of coming around and not being in his favor.
Yeah, it's also the investment into the active investment now into fishing ships from B, right? That of course also slowed down his unit production, which means that although it doesn't look great for B right now, I don't think it's that bad because he's scaling himself, right? Like he didn't go for sort of the all-in that we expected later on. After being able to push out off of that northern pond, he's realizing, well, I can just make fishing ships and insulate myself better for the upcoming mid game. But
I feel like B got the notification for like the going castle, and he's like, actually, let me queue up 5 more Keshiks.
Mm-hmm.
He's able to take this fight kind of alright as well.
A bit ambitious, I think, underneath the tower as well, with so many archers present. Bringing in his own archers. You can see that, though, the Keshiks definitely do very, very well up against Ghazi Raiders. The healing is massive for them in this case, and I mean, I was wrong. He's actually able to push Anotand back here. Despite having good ranged upgrades, Anotand.
And also, despite all the slight blacksmith upgrade advantage that Anton has as well, it's just the numbers that... Is it pulling Will? Sir?
Round 2.
Oh my...
Here we go, boys.
No. It... Fool me once, shame on me. Or shame on you. What is the saying? Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you.
Something like that.
Something like this. Surely, this. No. I mean, thank you. That was...
GG is cold in, the villager poll. Worked initially, but yeah, wasn't much left there for Anotand. Too much bleeding, unable to remass. And
honestly...
That one better than you thought.
The economy count? There's no indication that there was a fight like that.
No, there isn't, right?
There actually isn't.
Because that's the thing, like, you don't actually really want to focus the villagers, because then you just lose in the army trades. And with textiles, they're so tanky as well. So yeah, it is a difficult decision that you always force your opponent into when you do that. Less so in this case, because, I mean, there's no keep being built that secures a huge portion of the map or something like that, or an age up for that matter. But close enough.
Yeah, to be fair, honestly, like looking back at the highlights here and kind of rethinking a little bit, the fact that B put down that dock as early as it did, which made Anotand not invest more into fish and more into barracks, because it's 150 wood plus however many resources was for those 5 spears. It delayed him for so long that those towers were able to go up with effectively 0 resistance.
All because of that delay in the Dark Age, right? The dock securing cost Anotand dearly in terms of his timing, so as a result of that, he just wasn't able to get the units out or secure the wood line.
Sorry.
You don't see this every time, do you?
It's like the distance of the fight as well is comical.
Just how far they walked, yeah.
And one of the things as well this game that's kind of worth noting as well, Anotand only ever made 1 scholar out of his Dome of the Fate, and he lost that one rather early, so he was playing the entire game with just 1 scholar.
You see, in this kind of a game is where Tower of Victory would have actually made a probably pretty big difference here for Anotand, but, of course, hindsight is 2020. Yeah, I mean, if you're actually unable to secure sites and actively produce prelates, well, scholars in this case, then, yeah, Tower of Victory is definitely better, which... I mean, that's the thing. I think on hybrid maps, especially if you play Delhi, I feel like Tower might be the better choice in a lot of these cases because the timing becomes so much more important due to the investment into docks, right? You want those upgrades earlier. Your eco is not as strained as it is on a land map. So, you can actually gather gold even with tower in that case potentially, and actually drop an extra mosque to be able to produce monks, whilst also getting the researches that you need in the other one. But
it's. I mean, you kind of go back to the old build where you still go double mosque. That kind of, people have tried again with Tower Victory, but it's just this timing and the strength, and also kind of the unsung hero, which is feudal healing as well, right?
Yeah, 100%. So it's a massive, massive factor even now after a bunch of nerfs to it. I mean, having suddenly putting out 10 plus meat shields that also heal you in the feudal age, it's pretty good, man. It's pretty good.
I mean, the thing is as well, right? I have a lot of healing because they get earlier access to...
Yes. Piety? Or is that the health?
No, piety is the health. Like
one's health, one's healing rate, right?
Yeah.
They definitely get the health in feudal, but I don't...
Yeah. Piety, they do, yeah. And then herbal medicine, which is in castle.
Right, I see. Yeah.
So,
yeah, it would be
to be
insane
fair,
to have both.
Piety at the release of the game was actually in Dark Age, but...
Yeah. I mean, you could even get Sanctity in Dark Age back then, right?
Yeah.
That
was the good times.
And
I think the duration was the same, so you go like 6 minutes. Herbal medicine is castle, yeah.
I remember a B game on King of the Hill very long ago where he played Delhi and he went Dark Age Spears to mass wall in the opponent and actually capture the side in Dark Age, and it almost worked. I think that was against Beastie many years ago. Crazy.
Back in my day. Back in my day, King of the Hill was weird.
Oh god, yeah.
You remember the first King of the Hill version?
I'd rather not, but I do.
Remember the first Lipany version?
Oh boy. Oh yeah. Oh, Hill and Dale even. Old Hill and Dale. Crazy.
Old Hill and Dale, you had an 8K and a 4K on your hill.
And an 8K stone, right? And a 4K and not 8K stone, like a big stone and a small stone, I think, right?
Yeah. It was
ridiculous.
Huh.
We've come a long way, folks.
Anyways, Old Hill and Dale, you were in the corner. True.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
True, actually. Oh my god. You still kind of see that in team games, actually. You have
you still...
like the L, basically.
Yeah. I know what you mean. And today it's like you're still kind of slightly shifted towards a corner, because you always have like the narrow corner with the wood line, right?
Yeah.
And then the other corner normally where like you have easy access to the golds and such.
Oh my. Anyways, Golden Horde versus Sengoku. I don't know. I feel like this is a kind of a Yari opening. Just, do you go Spear opening, Tower, or Yari to deal with the Torgud and Khan?
Good luck, whatever you go for, I think, as Sengoku, to be honest. I don't know. I mean, back at Sengoku's peak, this matchup was actually impossible for Golden Horde, pretty much.
Yeah.
Now it's just completely flipped the other way around, I think. It's just... I don't want to call the game prematurely, of course, but it's so... I think it's brutal. Yeah, like I think it's pretty brutal for Sengoku here. It's just like it feels like no decision you make here as a strategy actually gets you in a good position at all. In fact, it feels like no matter what you do, you end up falling behind. You can start spears whilst you're edging up if you want, let's say, and yeah, you can kind of secure your yatai a little bit, but guess what? Your yatai are at least in 2 spaces out on the map, so you got to spread your spears between them. Whilst also defending your base, your gold, maybe your woodline, depending where your Matsuri is. And, there's going to be archers coming out very quickly from the Golden Horde. If you open Yari, that's going to be fine against the Khan and Torguds initially, but, the spear's going to be on the way, and you can't go fast castle either. Like, you will just die very quickly, because you have to defend your Yatai, but your feudal is weaker. I think it's so tough.
I'm trying to think a little bit outside of the box and put myself into B's head, which is impossible. Do you use Spearman Rush as Sengoku here?
See,
And
that's something.
then, yeah, but, and then you go ninjas.
Coastal. Maybe if you tower rush with the spearman and you can call the ninjas in the base. Okay.
Like I'm trying to think of anything,
Maybe
right?
it's
Because
too much.
the total good is effectively guaranteed. Like unless I don't know, you villager pull to torch down the Uwu or something, it's always going up effectively.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of a way for this matchup to be playable for Sengoku. And I want to be proven wrong.
I mean, we've seen MSN go pretty close in this matchup as Sengoku against Louis, but
Look,
it just felt like he was always fighting uphill.
That's very illegal because MSN just plays Horseman regardless.
Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, if anyone can do it in this matchup, it might be B. And, I mean, it kind of has to be B, because if he loses this, then he has no more room for mistakes. Game number 3 here, on Coastal Cliffs, in the first quarterfinal. B in the color green as Sengoku Daimyo, up against VS Anotand, the color yellow, as the Golden Horde. Now, Golden Horde it's not their best map, right? Like, it's not amazing for them because of this stone. Everything is just a little bit slower, a little bit delayed. So that's going to help B slightly, but it's not a massive delay, really, is it?
It is. It could have been this one time where Spearman Rush would actually be enough time for you to torch down the Uwu before you got enough stone. Maybe. I am grasping at straws here. I am well aware.
I think you might be able to.
I'm passing you the copium bottle.
Yeah, I think, well, if you skip Matsuri to start with space straight away, maybe. But the thing is, like, does Sengoku start with 150 or 200 wood? I don't remember.
Ooh.
Because if it's 150, then it's brutal, to be honest. But if it's 200...
It's 200 because market plus 30 gives you... Wait, no. Yeah, you buy wood once. So you start with 150?
Yes, you're right. It is 150. So just think of how horrible that is for a spear opening, right? Because Sengoku does not have the Japanese barracks discount, so
already
you pay it for
now
150.
Yeah, already now you have enough stone for a total good.
The Khan does cost stone as well, so
yeah. No, I mean, I'm talking about the the Khan. Yeah, I'm thinking strictly of the Khan here, right? You would have 140 stone for it, and then total goods are 100.
160, no?
I think no, they were 100, I believe. Vodka, golden tent, please. 175, 100. 150, 200.
Yeah. I think it goes down to 160 with the current total goods.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, okay. I mean, that adds a little bit more oomph to the spear rush, maybe. You are guaranteed that it's in a bad position effectively for TC though, and Anotand already kind of laming a little bit of there, but
yeah. I mean, the spears is so brutal, man, because it's a bit of a Macedonia spear.
Hey, I was right on one thing,
right? You were right. It is the Koka Township, which I do like. Like, I think it is the right choice in this matchup because, like, even if you don't want to fight, you will get pushed. And when you get pushed, you really want to have this available, right? Yeah, like 150 wood for the barracks, and then you need to gather with 5 villages to get another 50 for the house, and then you need another 20 for your very first spear. It's horrible for them, just like it is for Macedonia. It's very similar.
One thing I am a little bit surprised about is Beastia type positions. one on deer, one on boar, and one on his berries. I'm very surprised he doesn't go out on the map. I'm guessing he just don't want to have the idle time because he knows he has to pull back regardless. So I guess it's just like this long-term, just let him sit in my base, let him cook up the hot dogs, you know, let the business run its course with the hot dog stands.
True that.
Still, it's weird. I'm thinking, yeah, there's the barracks play. I'm also thinking a little bit the wrong way of what
We're in the club.
of what mess ups can Anotand do to let B win here this matchup.
He could be too passive. That is one possibility. He could also be over-aggressive. That's the other alternative. There's a balance to be struck here, right? Especially when you face the Koka Township, where, you know, you don't want to get caught in a bad fight still, where you get slowed down by Shinobi and then you lose your military tempo and suddenly Sengoku has a window. Whereas if you're too passive, right, then Sengoku might get an early castle timing than they really should ever be able to, or maybe a Yatai stays out longer than it should be able to, and suddenly you're giving over more than you should. But like, you know, Sengoku should never get away with like a naked castle here without just losing the game, frankly, but at least without taking a lot of damage.
And damage starting early, one villager already. A little bit of a kiss on the forehead saying hey. Yeah, I guess where the game kind of flips over into B's favor is when we get to this castle age and we have maybe 1 or 2 Daimos with the upgrades.
Yeah.
And you get to play this the Archer Knight combo that, you know, kind of is famous. I mean, we already have one so that's one Knight Daimo? Wait, no, that's a Yard Kev, sorry.
That's a Yari, yeah.
Oh my gosh. That is maybe the point where we kind of go into, okay, cool, now we're kind of starting to get into a favorable position for B, but even then, the mass that the Golden Horde will eventually have is just so great. And also this woodline, the way that the woodline here has been chopped for B is really unfortunate.
I mean, he can sort of pivot now to the left side, like he kind of... I wonder if this was intentional, like he takes from the right side as much as he can, and then he goes to the left side.
I don't think you can intentionally chop the woodline here, but first Trader, though, is going to be able to go into the...
At a big price, though, right? Like, he sacrifices the Yari, and it looks like he'll lose a Spearman as well, and that's like the second or third Spearman. I mean, just look at the destroyed value already, right? Yeah. And the spawn as well is just horrible. Like, you love to have the Matsuri on the golden woodline like this, but if it's forward against an aggressive Civ, I mean, already this is just disastrous for B, right?
Villager split here is looking mighty, mighty familiar from a previous game.
Have I seen this before?
Yeah. Already has the market to sell food.
Mm-hmm. If only he had plenty of fishing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of deep sea fish on this map, surely.
One time. One at a time, you know. Yeah, it's... just feels like at every stage of the game, Anotand is going to be able to kind of be ahead in terms of everything. I mean, this could be a really good fight here. He needs to take this fight, get up the tower.
We already have the one-shot threshold though on these archers. You can see them taking out the spears one by one. Shinobi get caught in a pinch here. It's going to slow down the army, but it's a slowdown not to actually encircle them. It's a slowdown to prevent doom here for B, because the tower is up. That's nice. He's getting arrow sits on it now. I mean, this is just a minimum requirement to even play the game here for B. And but the Yatta is going to pay the price for it.
To be fair though, in B's... for B actually, this is the first Yatai that goes down.
Surprising.
So he has gotten a lot of value out of it. To be fair, I mean, he got that one trader, has gotten the second one as well, which is now on the woodline. Archers are starting to be made, and spears as well, and more Yari. He's moving a little bit out, and to be fair, I mean, Anotand is now on these deer as well, so should be able to easily hold this. And now the dive just comes through. I mean, this is like once again, and He's just out of food under his TC as well, so can't even be safely gathering anything.
Nah.
Berries are about to run out as well.
Yeah, I'm in the writing
okay.
on the wall. DG is cold. B.
Excuse me?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, are you surprised, really, in that position?
Kind of.
Why?
At least expected it to go castle.
There's just no way, right? Like, he knows, even if he gets the landmark down, how's he going to get gold? How's he going to get food? How's he going to get even wood? He doesn't have resource access whatsoever. The only gold he'd be able to get would be from the Sake brewery. But yes, it's just, I think it's a horrible matchup. You know, a bit reminiscent of, I mean, it's even worse than Japan, I would say, frankly. Like, because the thing is, like, Sengoku's advantage over Japan is that they have a better feudal. I think there's no doubt about it. They have a stronger feudal army, but it's not strong enough to actually compete with a golden horde. So your entire advantage over your parent civilization is null completely. So it's just absolutely horrible, I think, for Sengoku. And I'm kind of surprised we even ended up in this matchup for B, but it's tough, right? Like, you can't always avoid bad matchups.
What is the alternative? Macedonia? I mean, Sengoku's China?
I mean, he sniped out China instead of Golden Horde. Thing is, like, if I was in his shoes, right, I would expect, okay, well, I want to avoid this matchup at all costs, so I'd rather just snipe out Golden Horde. I mean, you don't really want to face China, I guess, even with Sengoku, maybe, especially on this map, I guess. But I don't know. I'd pick that matchup any day, to be honest, instead of Golden Horde.
On to the next game, though. I mean, this was the game that put Anotand on match point. I mean, it was a little bit of a... it was written in the stars, effectively, that this was going to be the outcome. But now, a pretty interesting one. Macedonia versus Abbasid. I think this could be a little bit more explosive, perhaps.
It definitely could be. This is an interesting one, because, I mean, Macedonia is Macedonia, right? They kind of need no introduction as to their strength. Often we see them banned, often we see them sniped. They're just an absolute powerhouse, incredible in every age. I'd go so far as to say no bad matchups at all, except maybe something like Mali, potentially. But even then, they don't feel terrible. I mean, Ottomans, obviously, but Ottomans beats every civ in the game. So,
to be fair, I mean, this is... Speaking of Ottomans, where has Ottomans appeared in the draft?
Never. I was about to mention it. He hasn't picked it once, which just blows my mind here, honestly. Like, I think you can force Ottomans on every single map in the pool, including water maps. They are amazing on water as well, honestly. That's what's so crazy about Ottomans. By far, like, not only are they just incredible in every way in terms of strength, but they're unparalleled in flexibility as well, in my opinion, at least. It's so surprising to me to not see them picked. I don't understand, frankly. This matchup, though, right, like, this is a classic sort of timing civ against boom civ situation, right?
Yep.
Like, it's yeah.
Trying to think quickly. I think it's more just Abbasid actually being picked. I mean, Macedonia and Hillendale we've seen quite a lot of times throughout the tournament, mainly because we were kind of forced into this weird situation where it's either like Macedonia or another civ that gets sniped. But Abbasid on Hillendale as well, we've seen it a couple of times. So I'm like trying to think, have we seen this matchup before in the tournament? We definitely didn't cover it on EGC.
I'm not sure.
I'm trying to think, but regardless, I mean, the game plan for Abbasid here...
I think we have. I don't know if it was this tournament, though, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not sure. We've definitely seen this matchup. I think even twice, though. But I'm not sure it was this tournament. I think it's 1-1, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe. No, we have definitely seen it in this tournament, actually. I remember casting it, actually.
Corvinus Puppy.
Okay, that one I haven't seen. I didn't cast that one. But there was one I casted as well. Yeah. I don't remember who it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay, so yeah, I'm 99% sure that was this tournament where we saw Corvinus Puppy play it on Hillendale, actually, as well. So, But regardless,
Yes, you're right.
yes.
I remember.
Someone
now.
clip that.
Oh no.
You said it. Yes. Game plan for Abbasid. Military wing, 2TC. That should be kind of it. Just boom up. You do have the eco. You do have very good spears with the phalanxes. You have camel archers to deal with the Ridari. Should be pretty much it.
I mean,
Then kind of the...
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, if this was a campaign mission, Abbasid's mission is like just survive. You know, survive the onslaught. It's something like that, right? Like it's that kind of a case. It's like a survival mission, kind of like yeah. It's like 2TC milling. I think is the safe approach. That's probably what I would go for. You'd love to go ecoing 3TC, but I think you're pushing it a little bit, right? Like it's tough.
At what point, if you do go 3TC ecoing, at what point are you able to defend against the Redari?
Well, I think this is the only map where there's a chance that might work purely because you're able to buy yourself a lot of time with some walls, right?
Okay.
So, you know, you just go barracks, push away the initial horseman champions and get yourself walled up. And that buys you some time, but it's still a gold issue at the end of the day. Like, can you get out enough crossbows, spearmen, ghulams, maybe horsemen? You can maybe play horseman spear, I guess. Might be okay, actually. Can you get out enough of them in time for you to actually secure your gold vein, your second one, and be able to then secure it? That's basically all this comes down to. If he does go for 3TC, but the situation is pretty much identical if it is 2TC, right?
Yeah, like
that's
the issue for me as well is if you do turtle up, like literally turtle up by building a shell around you and going 3TC. Great. Now the Golden Horn Tower is going to be in the most, like, you can cherry pick your Golden Horn Tower placements to exactly what you want, right? Good luck. Is all I'm going to say to the Abbasid then. It's going to be really rough. So I think it all comes back around to you need the military wing to delay the Macedonians as much as possible.
There is a world, I think, where, with 2TC mowing especially, where you can have a situation where Abbasid just actually stays in feudal for a very long time, just making horsemen and spears specifically to, you know, cause a bit of idle time on the gold maybe, but especially to prevent a good Golden Horn Tower position. Because if you manage that, at least force it defensively, then there's always the threat of you being able to raid out on the map with a horseman or come back to the base to raid. So I think we're going to have to come and see. The game is now on the way, eh? And yeah, that's a value mill right there. Right?
I'm more thinking about the, you know, triple resources backwards.
Oh, well, yeah, that's going to be nice here for Anotand for sure, right? Anotand, who is playing as the Abbasid here in the south side of Hill and Dale. One win away from going forward into the semi-finals here. B can afford no more mistakes and is going to rely on the Macedonia here for his lifeline in this quarterfinals. Color green up in the north.
This is... yeah. I'm trying to think, in ye olden past, Trade Wing?
Oh, God.
Here we are.
Oh, boy.
No is the answer, but...
Well, you know.
Here we are.
See, that's the thing. We're never gonna get to answer that question because it no longer exists. I mean, that's the thing. Administration wing, right? What are your thoughts? Yeah, that's what I thought. See, the way I see it is, I think it might have a place maybe further down the line once it's a bit more explored. I think it's sort of the in-between between military wing 2TC and eco wing 3TC. I think if you go administrative wing 2TC, that's sort of an in-between, you know? You get some of the good eco from eco wing because of the Golden Age bonus, but you still miss out on, you know, boot camp and the tempo military units. Like, that's sort of what I see in administration wing existing for, outside of, you know, it being an imp age up, because you either go it in feudal age or in imp. I don't think you ever go it in castle age, personally.
I have to be honest. I'm kind of reading the text right now. The administration wing.
I mean, honestly, the only good thing about the wing is the Golden Age double bonus, which is mainly for, you know, you go from, well, we're not double, 50%. So you go from 15% extra gathering rate for tier 1 up to 22.5. Honestly, that's it. That's the only good thing about this wing.
Yeah, that's not a lot.
It's not a lot, is it? It's not a lot. Admittedly, the eco does feel pretty nice. I won't lie. It's notably better than something like military wing. But obviously, it's not as good as eco wing, right? When it comes to booming.
Yep.
So that's why I think it's like it's definitely an in between when you want to go 2TC without the greed of 3TC, but also without using as much economic prowess as a military wing, which is so specific, right? Like,
Yeah, it's a lot of butt sniffs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, speaking of that, and speaking of booming, sir, where is your second TC?
Yeah, I think Anotand has a different idea entirely, it looks like. This is
Surprise me, entice me.
This is what happens when you practice too much with MSN.
Horseman.
What TC have aggression? Yeah, it's I mean, I don't know why, to be honest. I don't see Abba ever beating Macedonian feudal, first and foremost. And you're also not scaling effectively here, right? So what is the idea?
I'm
No,
not
no
100%
idea.
sure.
Nice long thinking pause, I understand.
Like, this is very strange. I mean, I expected there to be a tower here and not a play. I mean, B is opting into playing this feudal age quite a bit. I mean, again, you do need some units to actually defend against the military wing, right?
You do. And with the stronghold going up, it's gonna be fine.
But I'd much rather just see a tower.
Then the stronghold? Nah, you can like the stronghold gives you archers, right? Like you'd rather have the archers, can give you spears too if you need them. The problem with the tower is like you become a bit susceptible to then like a ram timing, right? Because you only have horsemen to defend yourself, and you need another 200 to actually get the stronghold afterwards. Which, yeah, I think then you actually end up in a bit of danger as Macedonia, I would say.
I'm also trying to think, like, what is the better option for B here? Horseman archer or horseman spear or tricomp, effectively?
Well, I think you want to give yourself a safety net first. So I think there's almost no choice but to go archers initially. And then once you actually have plenty of gold access, there's only one answer, of course, and it's men-at-arms afterwards. I think it's... Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. The Varangians.
Yeah. Initially, you can probably just get away with archer horsemen. If you're able to buy a bit of time until you get to the champion horseman, then your horseman just will be better, no doubt about it, as B. So you don't really have to go spears, I think, unless, you know, something like a double stable, which, I mean, you know, MSN. But...
He's not rallying to his TC just yet.
Yeah.
The thing that I'm more worried about is Anotand's resources.
Yeah, it's a fake out. He just wants to go Castle Age instead, which, I mean, is going to give B all the time in the world he needs to get back on the gold and start pumping Ridar or even going up himself, which Even now crossing the map, starting to be aggressive instead for himself. It's an idea
It's
here,
a bit
but
scary.
it is.
Because he doesn't have any spears, right?
You mean for being? I mean, he must be.
Yeah, for me. Sorry, Atgarmeter.
I think he scouted the gold, right? So if I'm not mistaken, I saw the scout coming from the left side, so I assume he saw the gold for Anotand.
Yeah,
so
he should know. Yeah, he does know.
Yeah, like there's no way he's gonna have that many horsemen. Oh, the wood line's under threat. There's no wall on the right side, which is a pretty significant detail here.
Yeah, if he's able to wall this, you can actually safely do a whole lot more here. The question for me is echoing.
Well, it has to be. I think
We talked about culture, or sorry, admin wing as not being a very good.
Well,
Puzzle.
there we go.
Job.
See,
Okay,
yeah.
talk me through it.
Okay, you know what? In this position, I don't mind it as much purely because he's 1TC. So if you do something like a military wing 2TC, then I think you just need the eco wing for your farm transition, and there's no ifs and buts. I think if you don't have it, you're in a horrible spot as a Bassid. But if you're 1TC, then obviously your food lasts longer. So you can delay that farm transition, which means that the extra Golden Age bonuses here from Administrative Wing might actually pay better fruits than ecoing, just purely because it's a 1TC play, right? So he has more food to work with, and now with the Golden Age bonus, he's going to have good production speed on his military buildings, but also obviously the extra gather rate, which is going to be quite nice in a defensive pinch. But you know, it's still 35 seconds out. It's a big military lead for B.
Horseman on the woodline, though.
Yeah.
If this gets idled out, it's a bit of a problem. But also, what does Anotand make after this? Does he go knights? Camel riders?
Knights would be the right choice, I think, right? B still not up to the castle age. He's getting close to dropping the landmark. He's definitely gonna... I bet he wants to drop it right smack bang in the center there, between the site and the gold at the front. That'll be a great spot. Yeah. Do we see those moving yet? We don't actually... Oh no, I think he's putting them now. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. I mean, with a night timing from Anotand, there's no wheelbarrow for B. This could maybe be dangerous. I mean, the Hippodrome Redari should be coming up pretty soon, right?
Any moment now.
Yeah, seconds away,
seconds
actually.
or so. This is a bit scary. I mean, we do have a lot of knights in queue, but I just fear that they won't be able to do a whole lot on the map. I want to use... Like, if I was playing in this position, which I probably wouldn't be able to get to this position to begin with, I want to be using these knights to actually do something. Yes, I can hit the opponent's base, but the amount of villagers that has moved out to get this Golden Horn Tower, right? It's 17 of them. They're going to be pretty damn defensive. And so should just be completely fine. Now the Atgarmeter in queue as well.
Yeah.
Look at this. I mean...
A lot of damage already. Yeah, it didn't last long, did it?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, the base is going to be the primary target here for Anotand. It's the only place he can realistically hit. Food is going to be minimal for B eventually. And yeah, I mean, the extra villages... Okay, he's on the berries there. That makes sense. Yeah, he brought extra to make sure that it does, in fact, go up.
Now, though, are we going to be going into this... Oh, actually, there are bills on gold. I suspected there wouldn't be. We're going into this classic composition now for pretty much every civ in the game, it feels like now, Knight, Archer, with those crossbows being added in for free from the Golden Horn Tower, and Anotand opting to make Ghulams. I don't know, Chief. You could potentially be pretty alright all things considered, but I think B here has a pretty strong upper hand just with every single thing on the map just being under control, and Anotand has locked himself in his own base, even though the door is unlocked, it feels like.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I mean, the Knights is going to give him plenty of leverage on the map initially. He's going to be able to mass him faster than the Ridari because of his earlier timing. The damage is the question, though. He has to find plenty of it, which he's going to have an easier time doing with 1 TC instead of 2, of course. Less food being expended. The fresh food stuff is still going to give plenty of value, of course, even on 1 TC. But a Relic Gathering is commencing for Anotand first here. I'm surprised there's not Germather in production, even, for me, honestly. But I guess he just wants to make sure he's safe.
One thing I'm also a little bit surprised about is the lack of move out onto outside resources for B as well, except for the Golden Horn Tower. It makes sense, but for a lot of this game, it feels like he would have been able to go for a second Deer Pack, for the board potentially, if you're ballsy enough the opponent's board, because no one would ever check that. But again, the gold now for Anotand feels like a little bit of the issue. Without having to go for the Eco Wing, your farm transition, moving out on the map, would be, and will be, a big problem here.
Yeah, it is going to be a problem, because, I mean, ultimately, the damage you find here with the Knights is limited. You can only get so much, and every time you take damage, there's no easy way to heal these up. There's no Abbey of Kings here. You can save your monks, I guess, your imams as Anotand, but ultimately, they're also right pickings for the cavalry from B.
Yep. And now, look at this. Gold, berries, and deer all ran out at the same time. Anotand is completely starved of everything in his base, except for wood, and even that one is going short. Now he has to move out onto this front side, and berries and gold is on the same spot here as well, and he does not have enough to actually get this up. And B, he senses this, he sniffs this out. I mean, this should be a really good go-ahead time for B now. Dive comes through as well.
Yeah, this is the moment B's been waiting for, the timing right when Anotand runs out of gold and he goes forward when he is exposed the most. B pushing forward with the range mass first. There's so many of the villages under threat now, trying to repair the tower, but I think they're going to pay a heavy price for it.
It's not gonna do anything. This is just brutal. I mean, villagers, they're just trying to run back here. There's nothing to do. Like, they can go home and gather wood, that's about it, but there's no more units in queue either for Anotand. He can't even queue anything. There's nothing here. Targeting on the backside here as well. Archers, Ridare, all the upgrades are just making sure that Anotand, he just does not have anything to defend anymore, and this should be a solid game for B here.
Double Mather as well, activating the arrows, doing immense damage even to these armored units, completely ignoring armor for a momentary period of time, and GG is called. B picks up another victory here, much needed one, to take him up to 2 wins up against Anotand's 3. Still not out of the danger zone yet, as we mentioned. No mistakes can be made any further for B here if he wants a shot at the semi-finals today.
Round of 6.
Well, round of 6, yeah.
Reminder, it's a bit of a different bracket. I don't know exactly what it's called, which is kind of a list like ladder style playoffs brackets. And it is a fun format, mostly I think for the people who is higher seeded, because they get to play lesser games and kind of just look and see what their opponents are doing, and they have to play, and I guess you could call it a bit of a gauntlet bracket. But already here, at this point in the game where B was seeing the edge of coming through, and you know, it could kind of just go, yeah, that's fine, I'm just going to move Vils out and, you know, kind of just vibe. And we talked about this a little bit before the game started as well, where it's, if you put yourself in this turtle shell, your opponent is going to be using the space that they have to take what they need.
Exactly right. The lack of map control, and the thing is, it's 1 TC as well, right? Like, if you have similar map control with 1 TC as you would with 2, then, I mean, it begs the question, what's sort of the point, right? But it's difficult either way, I think. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, It's kind of the thing when you go ecoing. You're going 2. Might as well just go 3.
Yeah. The issue, I think, is I don't think Anotand's too displeased with this, though, right? I mean, this is a trade, isn't it? It's Macedonia is gone. There's no more threat of them ever showing up in this draft again.
But
and Anotand's pretty
trade
happy
was
with that, I'm sure.
removed and replaced with admin, so it's an admin win. Wait, no, that's a very different thing.
Okay, he's being cut off, guys. He's being cut off.
This is why they don't let me on the microphone.
That's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Okay. Gorge, however, B finally has decided to pick that Ottoman's pick. And GD Roos, however.
That's a funky one as well. Not one you see very often. I mean, this just has to be... I think this just has to be 2TC for Anotand, surely. But...
You think we go full circle back to Kremlin 2TC?
I don't know. It's tough because on Gorge especially, right? Like the spawns can be so varied. You would love to get the Kremlin, you know, on your deer pack or your boar, but also next to wood so you can gather. At the same time, then where do you place the TC? Do you place it with the Kremlin? Do you place it separately on your wood line, potentially? And at the same time, I mean, Kremlin, if you go to TC, I think in this matchup is almost essential because of the threat of knights and the threat of the all-in. I feel like you need it. But in other matchups where there's not as much of a threat, Golden Gate is probably still the better alternative, even for 2TC, I would say. But then, you know, it's going to come up so much later because you're reliant on the tickets than it would with Kremlin. So it's a tough one. I think it's going to be very spawn dependent here, to be honest.
Yeah. Like if if your first deer pack is kind of in range for you to Kremlin the deer pack and your back wood line, you're very happy. If not, then Golden Gate is potentially a good solution, but it's still a bad solution into Jean, I feel, because you will potentially have this timing where the Kremlins are just better. And remember, when you are in Castle now, hand cannons in Castle against Jean? I'm just saying. It's an option. I do want to pick your brain a little bit, though, because with this 2TC resurgence that we have gotten a little bit, what do you feel about the High Trade House the Abbey of Trinity coming back a little bit now?
That's the question, right? I'll answer in just a moment because the game is underway. Game number 6 here. B once again still.
That's an interesting opening.
Oh, whoa, what?
Wait.
Wow. Okay, well, introductions first before we address the elephant in the room. Anotand in the color yellow as Rus, facing B in the color green as JD here, Jeanne d'Arc. On Gorge, you see Gorge, of course. North and south for them. Every time the spawn is identical on Gorge. One of the few maps where the spawn never varies, like there's no diagonal spawn here like on most maps, which is an important detail. But yeah, what is this? What is Anotand doing? Why? He brought 3 sheep there as well, by the way.
Gold quicker? It's the only thing I can think of.
I guess?
So... Now we're in the position where if Anotand's and B's spawn were flipped, I would say this is really good for Anotand. With that deer, could have been a little bit closer, but I think that's a normal Gorge thing where the deer is a little bit closer. We'd have to ask Karyu, who is the one who is actually making all the EGC maps and making sure that they are balanced. So big shout out to him as well. He's a good friend, and hopefully, if we can peer pressure him into meeting me in Brazil, that would be very nice. Yeah, Kremlin position here, it would be lovely, I think, for Anotand. Now it's a bit of a different discussion, of, okay, should you just go Golden Gate and play 1 TC Knights?
Yeah, that's a tough one, right? I mean, there's no obvious, and that's the risk of Gorge. There's no obvious spot for Anotand to place a Kremlin here that's going to be way better than the rest. Every spot has pros and cons. I mean, you place it on the ball, you get berries and stone, but no wood so far away. Forward there is, I mean, it's forward there. You'd rather, okay, it's just going to be on the gold instead. About as safe as you can get, really, in this position. It's interesting. But 1 TC Knights as Roos against JD, I think, is always a losing battle. Frankly, I think that's, it's horrible, to be honest. I don't think you ever want to play that. But I mean, in the past we saw, back when Pro Scouts was still really big for Roos, we saw Pro Scouts into a sort of semi-fast castle, very China-esque gameplay, I want to say. China played very similarly up against French and JD, and Roos used to do sort of the same thing. Which, considering this Kremlin position and no move out onto the stone, oh god, that's on match point, by the way.
All right.
I mean, he's 100% expecting PPC. Oh, why he just? What am I seeing, man? That's crazy, dude. I think he realized, oh wait, this is match point. Let's not maybe.
So, okay, so I want to be that guy, but technically in the rulebook, it states that canceling buildings on purpose with JD is banned.
Right, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
True.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think this is for that, right? Like,
No, it's not. It's not. I mean,
it's a good meme, but yeah. I mean, clearly he changed his mind, which I mean he must have done. I think this is the reason why he must have seen there's no stone, surely.
Yeah.
So
I think 2TC. If 2TC, then yeah, cock. Then
yeah, I understand.
You should be perfectly fine. I do have this small issue with going cock, though, or Chamber of Commerce, in this scenario, is that you didn't do Dare Start. I feel like if you are planning to go in Chamber of Commerce and you're planning to go trade, if you do not start with at least 2 the Dark Age upgrades, so that would be Survival Techniques and Wheelbarrow, because you can do that. You can have it timed so effectively your Wheelbarrow is, pinpoint accuracy on your age up timing. He's going. He's doing 2TC.
This is getting more and more confusing by the minute, and yeah. So he's flipping the script completely here. And here's the thing, right? Like back in the day, 2TC JD used to be incredibly strong, just by design, right? Because it's going 2TC sort of forces your opponent to come to you, but you have JD, so you don't really want to go fight JD.
You went Archer JD as well. Okay, no, that one actually makes sense, I think.
Yeah, it makes a little bit of sense against 1TC, right? Won't be able to snipe out these knights.
JD. Okay, so let's break this one down, because this is fun. So JD, 1 villager age up, 2 barracks into 2TC.
That's a first for me, man.
French, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, I've never seen this done like this before. That's for sure. But B is B, right?
So for Anotand, he should probably be looking at this and go, oh yeah, this is perfectly fine. He should just be able to go up with Abbey of Trinity now and secure 4 or 5 relics.
Yeah, that's definitely the idea. And I think that was the idea originally, right? And the problem is, with the space present on the map from B, it's going to be difficult to pick up the relics for free here for Anotand.
Okay, what does B do now? He needs to play Cast or Feudal.
He does. Yeah.
Okay, high trade house. It's a good high trade house too. He changes it. Okay, thank you.
Oh.
Thank you. Okay.
So double mind change for these players. I think Abby's the right choice for sure in this position. You're able to get most of the relics, and there's no danger of getting, having your high trade house cancelled by knights, which was an issue in the past during Pro Scots. Many Rus games were lost that way. B, though, he's just sitting safely, cozily for now. No active gold.
He's still not
gathering.
mining gold.
Yeah. So he's going to stay feudal for a while, which he does have to, I think, to be fair. But 0 gold gathering is very strange to me.
Can a single knight be enough to deny anything?
No, he's not.
I don't think so.
I mean, yeah, I just don't know, to be honest. Like, it's such an unusual game in every way. I don't think we've ever seen like this variance, right? And that's the beauty of Age of Empires 4, folks. The variables are endless.
Yeah, this is great. I mean, I'm sitting here taking notes almost.
Right?
And still behind all of this, right? Even if there was some sort of pressure from B, he used his units, made a couple more units and started to go on the offensive. The Kremlin is there, and if the Kremlin starts, being too weak, then you just pop the Gremlins and suddenly you have spears now. But now B is just playing this full infantry almost. He's moving out with a couple of spears and archers, even. He's a double archer range in the back here as well, and he's still not mining gold. Anotand behind this, on the other side though. Getting eco upgrades, getting wheelbarrow, getting double broadaxe. Horse archers are in queue, which will fare extremely well against this composition that B has.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those positions where horse archers can gain a lot of value. The mobility here is going to be amazing for for Anotand in securing these relics. B is sort of forced into an infantry composition at this point due to his lack of gold gathering, and B is doing something I'm starting to piece it together here a little bit. This I don't know who first did this, but this is I think I saw BC doing this. That's a big pickup already. The idea here is the discount. You focus on food and wood, and you can save so much food. It's almost Abbasid style here instead of fresh foodstuffs.
He has...
Well, look, it's double consecration.
He has double
on the
consecration.
TCs. Yeah.
TC.
It's a very interesting idea, I think. And yeah, 37 food for a villager. And obviously this will extend to the barracks, to maybe the ranges, maybe stables later. He's saving a huge amount of food in the long run here. As what is normally an extremely food-hungry civilization.
I am starting to see the vision. The issue for me, I think, is the blind spot of that vision is the relics. He has been denying them very, very effectively, to be fair. He's only gotten one relic, is on the second one now.
Yeah.
So he is playing that very, very...
methodically, carefully.
Yeah.
These kind of words.
Yeah. Yeah, that's... Yeah. Bingo. Not that this was on my bingo card, but...
Yeah, I'd be very impressed if this was. You'd be a rich man, man. It's, yeah, the transition point is what I'm more interested in here for Anotand specifically, because what's the end game here, right? I mean, we're going to get most of the relics for sure. That's nice for us, and that's great. But there's only really two options to follow up from this. Either you drop the TC yourself pretty quickly and play a standard macro game from then out and sort of withstand the timing of you being a bit behind maybe in farms, a bit behind in villages, but having relics and play for the late game, where I think Rus is definitely favored, I would say, when it comes to the late game. Or do you just all in? You just keep massing units, take the ball, take maybe even both balls if you can, and actually try to end B before he can really make this TC give big value for him and get farms going. Because sure, he's saving a lot of food with the consecration, but at the end of the day, it's still 2 TC, and the food will run out quicker than for Anotand without a doubt. And farms will have to come quicker. And there's no guild hall yet either, because of the 2 TC, of course. That will be delayed as well. So potentially Imp is even delayed.
I don't think you want to take this to Imp, though. I think that's... as B, like, not at all, right? If you start going into this Streltsy composition, where Streltsy Horseman, you're cooked. So a couple of Gremlins has been popped, though. I think this is just a move out because he knows the timing is there to potentially punish the age up and get some relics. He should be able to get some relics behind this, though.
Yeah, I think
you can see him splitting off.
Yeah, for sure. Like, this must be for the relics. He definitely does really need them. Like, you ideally want at the minimum 4 relics if you're in this kind of a position with 1 TC against 2 as Castle Rush, but ideally 5, honestly. Which I think he might be able to get, because of the age up, right?
Which still hasn't been started, by the way. This feels... There's that slight inkling in my mind that's like... the Royal Institute?
Royal Institute.
It's a terrible idea.
With 5 horsemen. Yeah. It's... Yeah,
but Kremlin... Arboletria.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They do still have the massive attack speed upgrade, which is going to be always nice to have in the castle age, but do you really go Institute for crossbow stirrups?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, it's a brave one.
Now, the dive is coming through here, though. B is going to be in a very rough position, needs to be holding this pretty damn well. Can afford to lose a couple of villagers here due to that second TC, but needs to get that age up going. Woodline is under attack as well as the front line here. Villagers are standing idle, needs to move out now a little bit, needs to get back into the TC, and now that age up has come through. Boy's Fortitude coming in as well behind this, and more units just streaming across the map from Anotand. 5 relics has indeed been picked up, which means that he is in an excellent position behind this, despite the 2 TC from B.
Still though, right?
Sneaking around here. Guildhall.
Not a single villager has fallen in that push from Anotand. Plenty of idle time. But not one villager has fallen, which, I mean, I don't think you have to do too significant damage if you do go into your own TC here as Anotand, which he has now done. So that is his choice. He is going to look to scale this long term, which I think is definitely the right decision, considering Rus, as you mentioned yourself, I definitely think they're better in the late game in this matchup. Very hard for a French or JD to deal with Streltsy. Typically French scales better as well than JD.
There we go. Gold access though for B, it's a big problem. I honestly want to go as far as to say put the guild hall on gold right now and cash it out when it's lower, because you have plenty of food. I mean, look at the right side, right? Berries and ore. Should be plenty of happy with that. But the fight now right now is taking pretty okay. I mean, upgraded archers have come through, able to get onto the horse archers. Not being micro back here might be a pivotal thing for Anotand here. Not in a good way. I mean, having to run back a little bit. I am just curious, what is the long-term plan of B here? What is his composition going to be looking like? Because right now, there is not a single gold unit even on the field.
I mean, that's the thing. Like,
we're just playing JD?
Yeah, like so far, we're just playing budget ABBA here as B, aren't we? That's all it is. Like, we're spamming trash units at a discount on 2 TC.
That's the wrong one.
Oh yeah, unlucky. But, I mean, yeah, there's no long... How does this look long term? It seems to be anti-synergistic, in my opinion, with your win condition here as JD, because, like as we mentioned, I don't think you want to take this late game at all. But that's exactly what UTC is. You're playing to scale for the late game, normally. Which you typically don't want to do in this matchup, I would say. And now you're in a bit of a struggling castle age, in a position where you should actually be pretty decent here as JD, or French for that matter. Anotand is pretty relentless. The dives continue. He's scaling behind this himself. He's trying to cancel out some of that
That's a lot of
villager.
villagers idle. They're just standing there sitting ducks, nothing in the TC. In the back as well, there's raids happening there. JD has leveled up successfully though, which is a bit of a helping lifeline here, and he did opt going for... Oh my gosh, that's so many gremlins. He did end up going for the champions here, which should be able to hold pretty damn well against these horse archers. Oh, look at it. Look at how panicked B is for gold now. He has everything in the bank. He just keeps on making. It's just a matter of actually getting enough. I mean, nothing in the TC as well, so this dive is practically for free for B here. Or for Anotand, sorry. Now the woodline under pressure as well. JD just sitting in the back, just shooting. These Kremlins, the hand cannons, they're doing so darn well as the front line.
I bet you thought the days of Kremlins crossing the map offensively are over. Well, they are back.
Villagers. He's trying to body block with him. He's not able to.
Once again, the villagers are pulled, right? This is the beast special by now. We've seen Anotand do it as well. It is going to be a hold, but at a very significant price. At this point, it's Anotand who's actually ahead in villages, as well as 5 relics. It went from bad to worse here for B, for sure.
It did, but it's not the worst. I think it's bad, worst, and then we're currently at the worst.
Yeah, I agree.
Second TC has been dropped, thank you, Vodka. And the good thing about this as well, right, is there was a lot of villager kills, yes, but the upside as well. Kremlin was used, right? There is no tickets left. I would assume maybe 1 or 2 now that has come back, but it's still in this very strange position where... Oh, the relics wasn't probably sent back. Oh. Right. Yeah, we're still just in this position of what is B making. He's budget Abbasid with JD?
I mean, I feel like... well, it's a bit late now because of the amount of damage he took. I think it's tough to go into it at this point, but the best choice probably would have been Arbalitria Horseman, sort of the classic, right? Maybe with the riders that JD can produce, well, can choose instead of the companions alongside them too. Oh, she's taking a lot of damage. She actually might die here.
Yeah, she's gone.
Oh, it's gone. That's a big loss.
That's 2 minutes without JD. Actually pays for her back. That's so much of B's gold actually spent on that.
Well, good thing we don't need knights.
Yeah.
Well, do we not need knights, or, you know...
Do we not need villagers, question mark? I mean, this is really rough. I mean, it is a good attempt at a dive here. I mean, if we can get this wraparound, B does have horsemen in the back here to actually do a wraparound here. They are being chased. Never mind.
Anotand's pressure is not subsiding.
And I'm starting to look at this, and I'm starting to think more of just horseman arbs, spear arbs.
Yeah, I think Arb's horseman would have definitely been the comp of choice, because the obviously with Boyle's fortitude and
next to the wall on the right side, there's the small gold. Is there a tower going up there?
I think there is.
I'll have to look at that after the fights here. I mean, being able to take these fights quite well, all things considered, for B with the trash, the army value, it's looking solid for Anotand. It's 4 times as much. Archers on the front side here.
It's astounding.
JD just holding back. I mean, there is more and more XP, right? There is value in taking these fights regardless of what's going on.
I think now we're at the stage where it goes from worse to
Goldal was
worse.
just pulled, I think. It must have just been pulled. That's going to be really, really rough now. Yeah, I was pulled. That's going to be really, really rough in the back here as well. I mean, just Anotand just diving. He has free reign, as you said. Boyer's fortitude with that +2 ranged armor. Hey.
Sneaky raids behind us as well, causing plenty of distractions and idle time for B. Anotand just continuously applying the pressure here, and high armory on the way now.
Okay, can we check if there's a tower there? I just want to get the confirmation that it's there.
Of course.
Does it have an upgrade in it?
I think no.
Oh,
not yet, at least.
Surprised. That's like the most surprising thing here. Yeah, B now.
Doesn't need it just yet.
spread himself a little bit too thin, I think, here with the defenses. 4.5 minutes on Sacred Sites.
It wouldn't surprise me to see B tapping out on age up, to be honest, but because it is a decider. I don't think he will.
Yeah, it's holding on.
But it's, I mean, it's, I want to say almost an unrecoverable position. We are so far behind as B here in every single metric, honestly. And normally, there's often cases in Age of Empires 4 games where you might be behind in military, but ahead in eco. You might be behind in tech, but ahead in eco. There's so many variants. And normally, those are playable positions where you have one disadvantage and one advantage, or two disadvantages and one advantage. It's tough, but still doable. But when you're behind in tech, army value, as well as economy, those are the games where I think it's virtually unrecoverable.
Yeah. It's not looking up. I mean, B, he has a lot of units now. The army is there, but the army value, that's what I'm looking at mainly here. And the healing as well, like Saint's Blessing, you should not count that away for Roos. I mean, it's incredible of an upgrade.
Yeah, absolutely massive, these knights. And I think with Inspiration, these are some of the best knights in the game, right?
Yeah.
I think they're actually better than French knights, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Maybe. I'm not going to say that one. Oh.
Yeah,
that's rough.
Used to be. Oh my god, not once again. JD falls when he needs her most. Yeah.
Immediately. Like, this is such a rough position. Like, you want to force a fight in the middle here, so you can actually drop that keep that is gathering up on the left side. There's units there already. Oh.
Well, actually going to the south side instead, B, I think. But he changes his mind. Those must be villages towards, slightly towards the right there. Yeah, they were moving down to the south.
I think they were passing weirdly and he noticed something.
Yeah, because the wall. Wait, no.
I think they were maybe shift-click.
Is this a case of because there's a wall, the villagers are trying to go around to the left side?
Maybe, but I think he noticed. But no A move. He's pulling all of the villagers. He's making... He just wants to try to get... He thinks it's winnable if he gets the sacred side.
Ambitious indeed here from B. I mean, he's pulling absolutely everything here. There's a massive blob of trash units for B up against Anotand's premium composition here in Imperial Age. So many knights, and they're just massacring everything B has on the front line. Holy Divine Saint's Blessing is in as well. Barely any units here fall for Anotand. Only some of these horse archers are getting focused out, but it's a massacre.
Streltsy, Kremlins, Elite Knights, Saint's Blessing, everything, every tool in the book used to take down B with ease. And B is out, and Anotand goes on to the the round of 6.
Wait, is B eliminated?
B is eliminated.
Oh, there's no lower bracket.
There's no lower bracket.
That is crazy. So that is massive here. B, the student, or old student I should say, eliminates the master here. And that's a big, big win here for Anotand. 4-2. So, I mean, so some close games, right? But when it's 4-2, it's, you know, it's relatively one-sided from a theoretical perspective. It's not like it's 4-3, of course. Great set though, and yeah. Up on forward to the round of 6, Anotand goes. Where's B? His tournament life in this one has finished. You can see, I mean, it's such a wild thing to go for in a decided game, right?
Yeah, I'm mostly like, I understand the 2TC, I understand the play of, you know, concentrating both of your town centers. You're safe. But Knights is your bread and butter. And you're just completely opting out of them. It's not a forced opt-out either, right? That's the main thing, I think.
Yeah.
It's not a forced thing to do. You're opting out of the knights themselves.
And I'm trying to understand why. I mean, the double consecration went on the TCs, right? So
Yep.
in that regard, I understand not wanting to make knights because you don't get the discount. But what, like, we can see we're consecrating ranges instead, which obviously don't give as much value as something like a barracks or a stable, initially at least, because it's only the food discount that applies until you get the upgrade in the blacksmith. That also applies to wood. In the castle. Wait, is it in the castle? Not the blacksmith? It isn't the blacksmith.
No, it's in the castle age.
Oh, yeah, I know, but I mean, you get it in the blacksmith, and that also then discounts wood and gold. But, yeah, it's... Yeah, it's just quite... I mean, subverting expectations can be a great way to win sometimes, but it's tough on this map generally to pull off 2TC because of the way it spawns. You have to spread yourself out so widely by design of the map, which is normally the opposite of what you want to do with 2TC. You want to be as snug and take up as little space as you can to limit the amount of exposed areas in your base that you can be hit. And it's also just strange from a long-term perspective because, I mean, we spoke about, like, Roost just scales better in the late game. So if you play for 2TC, you're naturally aiming towards a late game by sort of virtue of the play's purpose. So it's a wild idea. It kind of looked like it was working initially, but it's tough, man.
Yeah, I also just wonder how differently the game would have gone instead of moving out to the right side where the stone, and obviously there's more food there, but if instead went to the left side, so we actually would have access to the big gold vein. I feel like at that point it would have been much more closer and you actually would have had gold access, because the entire game, right? The entire game, gold access was the problem.
It was. And yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I'm gonna, we are going to have an interview that is worth mentioning. I think so, at least. It says interview is about to begin. And that's going to be, of course, with the winner, Anotand. And maybe, I think they still practice together sometimes, so maybe Anotand can actually shed some light on the purpose behind the play.
Yeah, I think, like, I'm trying to... stalling for time here while Anotand is getting ready.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be a very it's the same story in a lot of the matches where it's starving. It's starvation that is the most effective tactic. It's not a micro battle, it's not out macro, although you had some of those games as well. It's just starvation of resources and hitting those very razor thin timings that is needed.
That basically sums up exactly what the way to play at the top level, right? It's all about punishment. It's all about forcing your opponent into a position where they cannot avoid making mistakes. That is exactly how you separate yourself from the rest of the top level Age of Empires 4. And Anotand has done so in exemplary fashion in this set. So big congratulations to him. And I'm going to be able to quiz him about it very, very soon here as he looks to get set up. Of course, he might need just a few minutes, restroom, get some water after a best of sevens are draining sets for sure. So.
Yeah. It's here.
Yeah,
there's some tech difficulties that I have to fix, so you can
that's
be sure
good.
to spam those commands, I guess.
It's Yeah, maybe sad we didn't get to see Lakeside, because that's always a funky map, and it would have been pretty cool to see how these two play it, because I mean, you guys have seen just how much wacky stuff has gone on in this set, and it's exactly what you can expect from these two entertaining players. B especially just completely has a mind of his own when it comes to the game, which is always so exciting to see, and he makes it work in stunning fashion in so many sets, so it's very impressive. Anotand has a little bit of that. I remember, I don't remember who I spoke with I think it might have been Crackety a long time ago on cast, but we spoke of how Anotand is obviously an incredible player, and how sometimes it seems like he struggles to stop himself from doing Mimi things, right? And how that costs him sets sometimes. So instead of playing standard, he does some pretty wacky stuff, which can sometimes work, but often also backfire. And it's almost like an urge that he's trying to control. Which, yeah, it's tough, man.
Yeah, we are having some couple of tech difficulties here behind, so give me just 1 second, please.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to get those fixed up and then hopefully get you an interview quite soon. Yeah, we're going to be asking plenty of questions, I think, about these games, because there is a lot to dissect here, so that's going to take up quite a bit, I would say.
Yeah.
Which is good. We want to pick apart his brain and understand exactly how has it come to a lot of these situations here. Kind of pressure in game, in the Kawasan game especially, was pretty tough to overcome, and he almost did at one point, but didn't quite manage it in the end. But still, though, like, Ottomans only being picked once just blows my mind, man.
Yeah, I mean, again, like, bringing it back to the statistics a little bit, right? Ottoman, the single highest by far in terms of the statistics on the bands.
Yeah, it's not even close, actually.
In band, 95 times, and the next one is Mali at 78, and then Byzantines at 57. It's pretty alright.
That's pretty good.
Nice.
And there he is, the man himself and my teammate, Volda Esports represent. Anotand, massive congratulations, mate. How are you feeling? Nope.
Mixed feelings.
Oh, there we
Hello?
go. Now we can hear you. Hello.
Okay. Yeah, hello. Nice to see you, my friend. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit mixed feelings, because I would have preferred any opponent in round 8, but B. So, yeah.
Yeah, we were speaking about that before, right? Of how B has sort of been, a while ago especially, sort of your tutor, right? In a way, helping you really improve. I remember you mentioning a long time ago how there was 1 year in particular where you and B played just an enormous amount, and he really helped you out and got you to sort of initially that top 16 threshold, and obviously now you've improved way beyond that as well. So yeah, it must be a bit bittersweet taking him down, right?
Yeah, and still, like, he's my main practice partner, so we were a bit yeah, it was hard, like, to play or not to play this week. So yeah.
Just gonna look to pick apart your brain a little bit on these games. So Jushi's legacy up against Byzantines. Now, I was certain, and I know you're aware of this, I was certain that upon seeing that he's going for Hippodrome, you would go for the sort of Palace God Tower cheese with a Proxy Barracks potentially. How come you didn't?
I actually never tried it.
I see.
Yeah, I mean, I played few times in new patch with Jushi against Bis, and I just made more units. So I was like, okay, maybe I will make more units again.
Was that the plan all along then? Because, like, I think historically this matchup, well, before people started doing that with the Proxy Barracks, this matchup felt pretty tough in the past for Jushi with the way they were beforehand. But now with the new Jiangnan Tao, you made it look pretty one-sided, honestly. But obviously you placed your aggression really well, and the towers, I think, were a stroke of genius, to be honest, to deny the gold. Was that the plan all along?
Yeah, I mean, his gold spawn were kinda unfortunate, right? So I was really lucky to cut it off. Yeah, I feel like if he got gold in his back, it might have been a different game, because Byzantine with the Golden Horn Tower in Castle Age, right?
Yeah, for sure. In this game here, OTD against Lancaster. A bit of an interesting matchup. I don't think I've seen this much before, if at all, honestly, on Four Legs. But it felt like you had control, like pretty firm control of this game all the way throughout. And I was discussing this with Cal as well, but I struggle to see a win condition for Lancaster in this matchup, because it feels like they're weaker than OTD in sort of every age. Is that your opinion as well? Is that how you felt?
I was actually surprised how much I had. Like, it was really insane, right? Because of Burgrave. When I like hovered all my army and it was like 40 monotarms, I was like, okay, looks pretty good. But I feel like my proxy dog and paid off, right? He made a bit more than he needed to defend it. Plus, I idled his gold, even it was at the back for quite a period, right?
Yeah, exactly. That definitely hurt quite a lot. And there's a good spot there in the north with the gold and the woodline, and I'm sure he would have loved to get it up there, but obviously with pressure from the horsemen and then the men-at-arms coming in, it's a big risk and the long walking time, so he wasn't able to. But yeah, like, it feels so difficult for him to find any sort of damage done, and it felt like you played this pretty much to perfection, not giving him any sort of windows to find damage. And yeah, just sort of went very well for you. And up to Delhi against Mongols here on Kawasan. And I feel like it's almost a bit of deja vu here, because you've been in this exact situation before. I don't know if you remember. I think you were Ayubid up against Lucifron's Mongols. And it was the exact same, right? Like, you secure the pond and then maybe you make too many fishing ships a little bit, and then, suddenly there's Khan's hunters, archers on your woodline, and you just can't get any wood.
Yeah, I feel like my reaction every time is just really bad. Like, I fell apart a bit. I feel like if I just put one my tower like aggressively, or like I will not with my gold, but wall to my pond, right? So he can't. It's available for 30 wood, right? So he can't really pressure my wood. I mean, yeah, this was really on me. I feel like maybe like sometime I will win against this strat, but not today.
It's one of those things, like, you're right, I think. Like, you just have to be so quick in the decision to make that wall and making in the right position, or it just feels brutal to play from then on out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sengoku for B up against Golden Horde. And okay, I'm curious what your perspective is. I think this matchup is just impossible for Sengoku, honestly. I do not see any way that they can ever win this. What do you think?
I feel like it's hard, especially when he got like everything as the forward, right? I feel like if he got berries as the forward and wood plus gold back, maybe like I think it would have been playable, but I feel like you don't have tempo to make a lot of horsemen in time, right? So I just double archer no matter what, and my Targut plus Khan doing fine damage against a few horsemen. So I feel like it's really hard to fight for him early on. But I feel like if he with proper spawn is possible, but not with this one.
So you need to have like the perfect spawn, and then the game becomes playable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense, right? And then another pretty interesting matchup here: Abbasid up against Macedonia. Again, like it just feels like quite a tough one here for Abbasid. Though you had a very interesting idea, I think, with the 1TC fainted aggression into Castlage with administration wing. Were you quite optimistic that there might be some potential here for this to work, or did you know that being against Macedonia as a Abbasid, you're kind of on the back foot regardless, and you were just sort of trying your best? Or
I looked at my draft and I feel like I need to throw his Macedonia out. Like I never played this wing, and I was unsure if I get plus percent to my golden age passively, or I just need to research something. So I was just hovering text while I was adjusting to understand what is working. It was basically true evasive for me, but I felt like if I played a bit more defensively with my knights, and I feel like I wasted a lot of army early on without any reason. But judging by Res Gathered, I feel like it might be possible if I will not play it once in my life.
You don't think 2TC ABBA on military wing or 3TC eco wing, you don't think that can ever work there? Is that why you didn't go for it, or you just felt safer going for 1TC play?
Yeah, I was really worried to go to TC. I feel like I'm giving up him too much. But yeah,
That makes
it was
sense.
just like a stroke in my head, and I decided to play 1TC administrative wing.
That's the life, man. And up onto Gorge here for the decider game. Playing as Rus up against B's JD, and we were so confused throughout a decent portion of this game, especially from B's side, because, and I wonder if this is something you saw in practice potentially, because I mean it was unhinged almost, I want to say. I don't know if you saw, but he started with Chamber of Commerce. I think he expected you to actually go to TC. And then I think he scouted the stone. He actually so he started with Chamber of Commerce. He got like a decent way into it, almost like a quarter of the way finished, I want to say. And I think he saw your stone, and then he went School of Cavalry to TC instead. Is this something you've seen in practice against him before, or?
We were discussing that maybe trade is a good option against 2TC now, but yeah, like I never saw it. So, like, I just saw my spawn and I feel like 2TC is unrewarding, right? I can't put it on like gold plus Dirs, like, and I feel like on pure Dirs it might be a bit vulnerable against GD. So yeah, initially I wanted to go to TC if my Dir pack will be nice, but it was kind of awful.
Yeah, I think so as well. Like I was really struggling to see a good position for the 2TC, so I don't blame you at all for going for the fast cast instead, which I think is decent for Rus up against JD, because you don't really want to fight in feudal age, right? It's so difficult. Yeah. What do you think of the 2TC from B? Because we saw, what I found very interesting is that not only was it 2TC, but it's also a knightless 2TC. Like he intentionally double consecrated the TCs to save food, so almost like Abbasid in a way. And like I think we saw one knight the whole game. Is this something to discuss? Do you think this has potential, or what are your thoughts on this strategy?
I feel like it's again due to spawn like he need to go castle. His 2TC he need to go castle edge because eventually my army composition will kill everything. Like he's on timer. He need to mine gold, which is not protected, and he need to go castle edge. If he'll play like 2TC mass knights like forever, he'll just die to horse archer. So like I feel like he did it only because of spawn. If he had gold, he probably would have played knights, but yeah, it's hard.
That makes sense. It's also, I think we're discussing that we believe Rus just also scales better than JD, so it's also kind of a little bit strange to go for 2TC in that case. Do you agree with that? That like it's quite difficult for JD, or even French for that matter, to deal with Streltsy and like Boyar's Fortitude Horseman in the late game, or do you think it's okay and it's playable?
I don't know, I'm really scared of GD and French in ultra late game. I feel like my tempo so much better, but like one bad fight and like GD is level 4 and it's aura, it's kind of broken, right? So I wanted to find damage early on, kinda, because if game goes super long, I'm not quite sure about my win.
No, that makes sense. Finding damage is always good, but Anotand was a fantastic series, and I'm sure you're eager to get off and have some rest, right, before your next matches. What are your predictions for Beastie up against Vortex? I'm sure they're both eager to hear what you think.
I think they're both quite good. I really don't know. I feel like I'm not in my best shape. I feel like I need to see draft. It might be for Vortex or for Beastie. I feel like it's all based by draft. I feel like in current meta.
Yeah, it's true. Drafting feels like at least half of the series are decided by.
But my prediction
drafts, right?
it will be one-sided, but I don't know for who. So yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Well, yes, you can see the draft. It is going to be Vortex up against Beastie as our next set in the round of 8. See, so Anotand has 1. He's going to be facing Wham in the round of 6. And Lucifron is eagerly waiting for the winner of Vortex Beastie. He's either going to face his brother or almost his nemesis by now, I want to say, because Beastie has been struggling a little bit against Lucifron recently, right?
Yeah, but I feel like in top 8 now everyone can win against everyone. I feel like like people in chat saying that, like Anotand is not in the best shape on the beat B. I mean, let's be honest, matchups for me today were quite favored, right? Like basically it wasn't any even matchup, right? It was like one-sided for me or one-sided for him, basically. Besides maybe Kawasan, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I felt that way as well. Yeah. Yeah, but it was a great set. Some really, really exciting games and very unusual, right? Like you two, especially Beat, but you as well have that a bit to an extent where sometimes you throw some spanners in the mix, which keep things very, very exciting in terms of strategy and matchup. So it's always a pleasure to watch it. So thank you for some great games, and I can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you, man. Thank you for interviewing me. Really appreciate it. And a big thanks to our team, great World Esports, right?
That's right. All the esports represent. I'm sure you owe everything to them, right?
Yeah. Even my wooden cabinet.
It's a big one, man. Like that's such a typical sort of Eastern European cabinet, because I have exactly the same back home. It's just huge wardrobes, right? Holding so many
Yeah, well,
things.
maybe I will perform better and Volder will get me one from like Norwegian wood. I don't know. Or maybe from IKEA. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, some sort of enchanted fjord wood. But Anotand, thank you so much, mate. It's been a pleasure and good luck in the next. See you soon.
See ya.